So, hello, and welcome to another session of Nifty and Deep, the Pirates of Kal'Himaar, the pirate-y kind of stream that we like doing. I've actually gone into a weird mood all of a sudden. How about that? Thank you for joining us. We're going to be doing a regular-sized kind of session today. You'll see what's going to be going on in a little bit when I do our recap. But first of all, we're going to start an introduction, starting with this boy.
Okay. Hello, I'm Jamie, a shock to all five senses, and I'm playing Fuaro. He is a roguey Aarakocra boy, and he's aiming to make a quick 6,000 gold today. Let's see how he does.
Hey, it's me, it's Elliot. Speaking of assault on the senses, I play a squashy wrapped in lettuce. I have to say, I don't recommend it. It is awful, and I want to die.
PSA.
And today I am playing Garvin Serious Beatdavar. He is a Goliath barbarian and Fuaro's bodyguard.
Straight to me, I guess.
Yeah.
What is up, gamers? It's Kane here, coming at you from the Nifty live stream. I'll be playing River Kiss Row, and don't forget to smash that motherfucking fire button, guys.
Every time I think it's going to get old, but every time my ears just want to believe.
Every time I take a sip of my drink, and it's like,
What's up, guys? You know what time it is. It's 5 to 5 in the evening, and you know that means it is Callum time. He's not here, and I get to do the bit.
I think you did it better than he ever
has. So far this season, yes. So it's now actually 4 minutes to 5, which is Callum time everywhere. I'm playing Cyathus, who got lost last episode. He will come back, hopefully, otherwise why the fuck am I here? Yeah, he's nice. He's lovely.
Told you
he might have killed someone once.
That one time. Good morning, my name's Annie. I'm happy to be here. I've also got lettuce, and I'm imagining that none of you do, but, you know, sorry about that.
Let us know in the chat if you're eating it. Lettuce along with
post in the chat if you've got lettuce. I'm going to be playing Nemmera. She's a human warlock, and she's a secretive sort.
I'm going to get #GotLettuce tattooed on my body somewhere.
Please do. And as always, I'm Dan. I'll be the end of the session. So,
just before you get started as well, the winner of last session's climax comment competition was the infallible Gaunties once again. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being there for the climax. Over to you.
Sick. As you may have noticed, and as we just mentioned, Tom isn't here this week. He's actually in Spain currently. If you guess where, 50 nifty points.
So
we want the exact GPS location.
I want latitude and longitude.
We need to find him.
So I'll be running Mostella this week for all intents and purposes. But as we get into it, last time you guys started your session in Coldshire, having seen these two ships kind of just arrive. Turi, the dwarven captained ship of vagabonds who are kind of just transporting goods to and from various places, and Light's Bastion, a ship captained by a Midas higher up by the name of Captain Vrondis, a silver-scaled dragonborn. You got to know some of the crew members of Turi, found out that they were headed to Priangos, and then through to Titan's Cradle, and Fuaro, after a brief conversation with Captain Vrondis, was invited to dinner with him. After accepting this romantic dinner aboard Light's Bastion, you were propositioned by Vrondis, but not in the way you may have wanted.
Not at all.
It seemed like one of his crew members had recognised Garvin Serious as a escaped slave from one of the more important ships of the Midas Navy, and asked if you were to bring him onto the ship, you would be entitled to quite a nice little amount of gold.
I told you off stream what I actually said to him, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So they're now giving chase. So
we'll rendezvous in 3 days.
Yeah, I've got a whole new character ready already.
You said you'd consider it, flew away, and immediately you guys kind of prepared to get onto the other ship, Turi, with Captain Thorfinn. You had a fairly uneventful kind of sail. You were quite lucky on the random counter rolls. And managed to arrive to Priangos, the unofficial pirate capital, where there's a lot of stuff going on. Lots of varying districts. You saw a lot of hustle and bustles. A lot of you, kind of your first time being within this city. You took in some of the district. You briefly saw the waterfront. You walked past a district known as the Metalworks, which seemed to have some strange kind of iron warforged men kind of walking around. You reluctantly spent a little bit of time in the Flame District, speaking to some devils, dealing with a devil blacksmith and realising that maybe this place allows things that are a bit worse than you're used to. As they were talking about souls and flesh and killing people and all that jazz. Then went into the, by contrast, very nice, very pleasant district of the Court of Serolitis, where it's kind of a big fae presence, a lot of fairies, a lot of plants kind of overgrown. Garvansarius had a three-way in the middle of the street, while the others kind of went and kind of did shopping, learned about what was going on. The others just watched.
Oh my god!
just deadpan faces.
Politely applauded when it was over.
Just all with binoculars.
Yeah, from the inn, like.
How small is it?
Compared to the rest of him, massive.
Oh god.
It's the size of a warrior.
It's really a burden.
Heavy weapon, two-handed. Reach.
When you see that swinging at you, you fucking get out of
That's
dodge.
actually why he tears off his clothes before combat.
Take that, Goblin McGob.
Ain't no wizard out covering this.
Oh god. So you guys then kind of perused the local kind of taverns and inns and decided to go and head into Duskwood onto the Slumbering Hills. A inn that seemed to be built into like this kind of hilly kind of mound that was covered in various flora. You went down some stairs into this big open circular room, and as you've kind of gone in, you've taken a seat. There are tables here arranged in a perfect circle kind of around the room, with various kind of waiters and waitresses kind of slowly kind of walking to and fro. There's a very pleasant like aroma in the air. You can see kind of around the entirety of the circular wall of the inside of this building, there are circular doors that kind of lead into these kind of closed off chambers. As you can kind of like catch a glance as someone walks in or out of one, they seem to be chambers that are filled with pillows and mattresses and blankets and various kind of plant life kind of growing around. There's just faint kind of glow. You see people kind of on the backs of chairs kind of just receiving kind of like massages, kind of relaxing. And as you kind of all sit in, you've all regathered yourselves. Cythus is back with you guys with Gizmo perched on his shoulder. You notice as you sit down, you see someone immediately kind of beelines for you, very slowly. You see this very large gentleman, kind of about 7 foot tall. Seems to have a big kind of mass of hair, like mainly kind of like dreadlocked, but very unkept, kind of bushy, kind of like flowing down his back and some down the front. Big beard, again, kind of like big and bushy and unkept, clean but unkept. It kind of like fuzzes out and drops down. You see kind of like the sunken eyes, the cow-like nose of a furbolg, as this gentleman kind of saunters over to you, kind of not fat but fairly rotund, kind of walks over and says, "Greetings, friends. Welcome to Duskwood unto the Slumbering Hills. I will be your Sherpa to the land of sleep today. Are you looking for just a nap or some light refreshments, or will you be staying for a longer visit?"
Light refreshments for now, thanks.
Of course, we have plenty of things to relax the muscles. We have milks and juices, no bubbly alcohols, but whiskeys and some light wines, hot chocolates and teas.
Why no bubbles?
Well, it gets you carbonated and burpy, and it doesn't allow for a restful night's sleep. It's what we're about here.
Right, that's sound logic.
He checks out.
This guy's kosher.
We also provide massage services for anyone that would want to partake.
How much for the massage?
Well, we can do it for a simple 6 gold. I'm
That's pretty cheap, actually.
quite adept with my hands myself. It really relaxes the muscles.
You've said that too many times. I'm kind of scared now.
So we just want to make sure your stay here is as relaxing as possible.
Will it have any detriment on my ability to get into rough and tumble situations?
No, if anything, it will limber you up more for any rough and tumble to come.
Alright. Sold. hand over 6 gold pieces.
He kind of gestures you to kind of, like, slowly kind of helps you kind of stand up as he turns the chair around and sits you the other way on it. He goes
right here?
He goes to your back and just starts kind of like massaging you. And he's good with his hands. Immediately you can kind of feel all the tension kind of being released. In the meantime he goes, is there anything else I can get for any of you?
Sorry, friend, what did you say your name was?
My name is Solomon. It's nice to meet you all.
Huh.
I thought I...
This is very
That's very
underdone.
confusing. In an alternate universe, I knew one of you.
Is it still the 45th of Avon, by the way?
Oh, yes it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is the night time. It is Priango, some of you kind of knowing this and some of you finding out for the first time, is a nocturnal city.
Yeah.
So it's currently about, it only just became night as you entered, so it's about 8-9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have a... Can you do like a nice coffee, but with liqueur in it? Can I get one of them?
Sure.
Nice. No, thanks.
He kind of taps you on the shoulder, down, goes, I'll be back with you in a moment.
All right.
Walks away to
Don't be too long.
Walks away to the bar and kind of almost instantly comes back with the coffee, kind of sets it down. in front of
Hey.
you.
Thank you. How much is that?
2 gold.
All yours.
Yeah, what's the right thing to drink in here?
Well, I think I might have a tea. You can have whatever you like, my dear.
I'm going to have a tea too.
Can we have 2 teas, please?
A tea for me as well, please.
3 teas.
I'm living a personal fantasy of having alcohol and caffeine at once.
There'll be 6 gold total, and again, he kind of like walks off slowly, comes back with a small tray that has these kind of like empty kind of like cups and saucers on, and he kind of like sets it down, and then from the side kind of pulls up a kettle that is freshly steaming and kind of places it
So
down.
that's 2 gold each.
Yeah, he kind of waves his hand, and you can see as the kettle kind of like begins to warm up and kind of boil on its own.
Wow.
Smells very nice. Smells like a very aromatic kind of herby tea.
That's right.
Forgive me, I'm a member of the Kiss Row family. I believe we have pretty much free open access to a room here.
You should, yes. I imagine you'd be wanting to stay somewhere much nicer than here, though. But
Just weighing up the options.
yes, of course. Well, here, of course, we make sure you get the best night's rest. May not be the fanciest place in town, but you'll have a damned good night's sleep.
And that only covers myself, I presume.
Yes.
Thank you.
And he goes back to massaging Garb kind of quietly.
All right, Solomon, my good friend. You wouldn't happen to know anywhere nearby that would sell some potions, would you?
Well, the best place is going to be the river market. You don't get many places in the actual city proper that sells goods, other than blacksmiths, really, and other specialist kind of shops, but the river market would be your best bet.
Right, thank you.
And if we're potentially looking for work,
That's not good
an
shout.
odd job, a freelance job here and there, we have a variety of skills. Where would we head?
Well, any of the districts should be able to provide some kind of work. There's a lot going on in the city. Any bars or bar people should, more stereotypical bars that is, should be able to procure some kind of job with payment. That said, the district has been going through some troubles on the eastern side recently, and don't know if anyone's looking into it, but that might be a good place to start if you're looking a bit more local.
What kind of troubles are we talking about?
Just some bad behaving plants is all. They seem to be a bit nasty to passers-by.
Right.
Plants, eh? What kind of plants?
Oh, you know, flowers and vines and other things. People kind of getting sick. Not too sure. I don't really go out that way myself.
Well, if you let me sleep on it, I can go have a word with them, I think. Or actually, no. We might need to do a job before I can do that. I know that. Ignore me.
Okay.
I think that's a spell beyond my capability at the moment.
Right, so beat up some plants.
That's an option.
Beat him up.
See what else is about this. Let's see if we can get something that's like has a reward on hand that we know we're going to get paid for.
There might be a reward for this
There
stuff.
might be, but we don't know that.
Solomon,
Yes.
did you know if there was a reward for sorting out this plant problem?
Well, the person who would be looking after the district, you'd either want to talk to the Oh, I guess it would be the Winter Guard at the moment, but they're not the nicest of folk. Or you'd want to speak to, where's his name? Somewhere around here. Ah, yes.
Looking at Gov's back.
Philoreth. He is the self-proclaimed watcher of the district. People don't tend to dispute him too much in the fact that he's rich. So, yes, everyone knows that really our patron of the Henya kind of watches over the district in secret, but he likes to pretend to the public that he controls the ins and outs of the court of Celeritis.
What was his name again?
Philoreth. He is the owner and runner of Escapades into Bliss. It's quite a pricey location, if you ask me, but there's always something going on there.
Would I know anything about the Henya?
You can make a.
I was going to say,
history
you've
check.
said a lot of words there, friend.
Or anyone who's proficient can make a history check as well.
Proficient in history? I am.
I am.
Oh, yay.
Oh, me too.
8.
14.
15.
15. Cool. Garth, you kind of. All of you kind of know of the Henya. You've heard of them. It's meant to be. On the surface, all you'd know that it is 9 masked people whose identities are unknown, who kind of preside over each district and run the city in unison with secret meetings. Cyathus, what you would know with your role is the Henya were a band kind of put together when the city was first founded. It was originally 9 pirate lords that kind of held back a great battle thousands of years ago. And founded the city of Priangos. You would know that they all settled their own district while they were kind of still amicable towards each other, but then kind of fell into dispute, as pirates are wont to do. They all forged these masks, so 1 mask each, so 9 in total, and kind of bound a portion of themselves to it to essentially make sure that they can still hold some influence over their district. And you know that a member of the Henya is usually a marked person. It's usually a good. People usually want them dead. So which is why they kind of meet in secret, run over the city. They're often very powerful. And you know that there's something. I'll try and do this as quick as I can. There's something called the game, which is a social game that they all kind of unwillingly take part in. If you're chosen to be a member of the Henya, you are expected to kind of actively try to figure out and kill whoever the other members of the Henya are. And if you do, their body is then publicly shamed and carried through the streets. The Henya mask that they wore then disappears and randomly appears on someone's face within the city the following morning after they've slept, and that person is now that member of the Henya and takes their place. This way, it kind of keeps the city's politics in a permanent balance of every walk of life, every alignment, every kind of creature getting to have their say at one point or another. It's random.
Jeez.
Well, I have no idea how I knew all of that, but you're all welcome.
Because you rolled a 15.
It's because I rolled bloody well. Solomon, when was the last time that there was a public shaming?
Oh, that would have been, as I flick through my notes here.
Why are they on my back?
That would have been about 20 to 30 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
The holder of the Mask of the Melody was killed and paraded through the streets. Nice gentleman. Just met him once or twice, but awful news, really.
The Mask of the Melody, which district was that to?
That would belong to Thunder Island, the district of the Bards.
Oh, makes sense. Is there an underwater district or or is it just the river market?
It's just the river market with water in it. I mean, the what was that district called again? The
longer you keep this guy talking, the longer my massages.
the Royaume de Plaisir, to put it nicely, the brothel district. They can have a lot of water, rivers and canals and the like, but
I can't imagine that water's very clean.
oh, it's the cleanest. They pride themselves on cleanliness and show and charm. If you got the coin, I'd highly recommend it.
Do you have to pay to enter the district?
No, it's open. You just have to pay for the things on the inside.
Is that the one that had the waterfall wall around it?
Yes, it
Aye,
Ah.
remember that?
Okay.
I recommend not starting any fights in that district, though. Doesn't tend to go well.
Oh, well, we shouldn't go there then.
Is there a district you would recommend starting a fight in?
Well, possibly the shifting grounds. They tend to have quite a nasty fighting ring, but I wouldn't recommend going there. It's not nice at all. And then also, the ironworks tend to have their own fighting ring as well, but they're nasty folk unless you're a warforged yourself.
Right.
Oh, those would be the mechanical. I took one look at them and went, Nem's not here, I don't know what's going on, I'm not going in there.
You just think they're big armoured guys.
No, I don't know what they are.
Okay.
Does not compute.
What? Can I just quickly have a rundown of
Four.
the names of all the districts? Because we've been to
Yes.
4 of them.
Yeah, you've currently been to 4. So that is the Court of Celeritis, which is the district you're currently in, the Feywild district. There's the Metalworks, which is the Warforged district. The Shifting Grounds, which is where the other fighting ring is. That, not too sure about districts. There's the Flame District, which you've been to, which is the District of Devils. There's the Sura Navalia, which is the dockyard, the one with the statue of the Great Black Dragon. There are the Outer Echoes, which is the Graveyard District. Thunder Island, which is the place where there's lots of bards and an amphitheatre. There's the Royaume de Plaisir, which translates to the Kingdom of Pleasure, which is just brothel district. And then there is the Gardens of Stone, which is a great quarry and stoneworks and very industrial.
Okay.
A question about the Inya masks, my good friend. Do they, when they're assigned at random, is it in accordance to the type of people that occupy the district, or is it totally random?
It's totally at random.
So, like a Warforged could be like a leader of the Feywild district or stuff like that.
Indeed.
Wow, that's interesting.
Wild.
What
I'd laugh at that.
What happens if someone? What happens if someone's just passing through and they're on that day, they get given the mask, but they want to leave?
Well, they can leave, but when the meetings are called, they have to come and go to the meetings to decide what's going to happen in the district. And
What happens if they don't go?
well, then I believe the mask does some unfortunate things to them, but I've never held one myself. Otherwise, I suppose I wouldn't be here. Yes, when someone dies, if you
Insight check.
go for
No, I'm
it.
kidding.
No, I'm doing it. So that.
He has them all.
No, that's really high as well. Inside. That's 22.
It's quite easy to read. Yeah, he seems like he's got one, kind of no interest in the political
Okay.
side of it, and 2, yeah, you feel like he's been.
But he has one of the Henya masks.
Yes,
Yeah.
he has all of them actually.
Oh.
On the wall back home.
If someone dies with the Henya mask, then it appears on someone's face within their relevant district. Sorry, I forgot to say. So that way, when someone dies, it's good for the district. Lots of travelers come and stay and suddenly want a room and food.
All right, that's interesting.
So I suppose the death isn't all that bad.
Depends who it is, I guess.
Indeed.
Right, so do you know of any of them?
No.
Just checking.
Maybe later.
I imagine the people holding them would hopefully be smart enough to not reveal themselves to the public all too easily.
Fair enough. Right. Shall we go speak to...
I'd like to go to the river market. I've got some
stuff to
I've
do?
got some shopping to do.
Fair
But I'm
enough.
happy to follow around and do some other stuff in the meantime.
We're going to have a look at those plants. See if anyone's...
I'd like to
Full
go
of
to the
chaos.
river market first.
Yeah, okay, we can do that.
If we're going to go to do a
Um,
fight.
We probably know us.
Right, I need some health potions.
Let's go to the river market. Anyone else want to go anywhere else?
A health potion sounds like a possibly good idea, so I'm on board.
Cool. Everyone going to the river market?
I'm gonna hold back for 10 minutes.
Cool.
And just cast Speak with Animals as a ritual.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to spend a spell slot, so I'm just gonna
Do it.
do that. You don't have to wait behind. It will be just a quick. Want to have a chat with Gizmo.
Cool.
Is that an innuendo or?
You're in the district for it.
No, he's got a flight speed. I can't become one of him yet.
Yeah, corrupted that monkey, God.
As we said, it's not a monkey; it's a man in a suit.
Well, this spell will have no effect.
Oh yeah, now I can understand you.
He's an animal at heart.
Oh, Gizmo, how's it going?
Hello. Yeah, not bad. How are you?
Hey, pretty well. I'm sorry, I won't lie to you, I completely forgot that I'd been taught how to do this. We could have been having a chat all the time. Instead of me relying on your whatever the heck emotions are.
Taught how to do what?
How to cast a spell so that we can actually have the conversation.
What's a spell?
Magic.
What's magic?
I don't understand it. Between me and you, we're not going to understand a lot, basically. I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to go swimming for a while, which is like flying but underwater, and you're not going to be able to come with me.
Oh.
So, if you want to just hang around in one of the nice trees in this district, and then when I'm done swimming and shopping, I'll come back for you.
I'll find fruit.
I tell you what, that's an amazing plan. Means we don't have to get people to cook for us. Less money. Let's not go through what money is. It's
No,
fruit.
A character that knows nothing explaining things to another character that knows nothing. I love this.
I mean, it's a monkey. You don't know stuff.
This is great. I love this.
Right. Well, and don't come out of the trees until I'm back, okay?
Yeah, got you. I'll fly. Fly away from bad guys.
That's an excellent plan. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, if there's danger, fly away. Don't hang around on my regard. Don't go all the way home though. I probably won't be able to come back to you for a while. But
Don't know where home is really.
no, me neither.
It's around.
Are we inside at the? It was inside at the bus.
Still in the massage parlour. Right, let's go outside.
As you kind of step outside, kind of, I was going to say into the sun, but no, into the night, you see as he kind of like looks at you, kind of like plays your hair a little bit, and then kind of like flies on up to the big willow tree in the centre of the district.
Goodbye.
Big willow tree in the
Oh, you
sky.
have hair, I forgot.
Yeah, it's all goofy at the moment.
When
I've
you
not
s-
been swimming.
When you speak with animals, do you sound like the animal, or do you sound like normal and they just understand you?
It's up to interpretation. I
Okay.
usually say that you sound like the animal.
Okay, that's
Okay, so there's people trying to relax.
yeah, that's what I was
Like,
I love
really
D&D.
calmly,
and in a Welsh accent.
especially now.
Exactly what I needed.
For any of our Welsh viewers who are just tuning in,
There aren't any anymore, let's be honest.
No, they left session 1.
Yeah.
So yes, you'll head on up to the river market. You can see it's a bit more lively now.
Can I see en route if there's anyone sort of like looking for assistance that I might get paid for doing?
that's some good Samaritan
Yeah,
business.
roll an investigation.
I'm not up for that, but like,
Not being a good
Am I allowed to
Samaritan,
roll?
I want money.
Can I do that as well?
Cool.
Oh no, not orange.
No, it doesn't. That's the point. Oh, so that's fucked
No,
up.
never mind.
That's like 7.
As I'm catching up with them, I'm going to leave a couple of those messages I told you about, just
Cool.
in Druidic and the Feywild.
Yeah, you kind of rearrange some of the plants and stuff into runes, not to kind of like disturb or deface them, but you kind of
I
rearrange
don't
them.
say any names. I'll use sort of as much of a code as I think that they'd understand.
while we're walking, can I just keep an eye out to see if anyone is like watching us?
Yeah, sure. Make a either perception or insight.
Give me a perception. 18.
What did you get?
2. Snuggle.
2. 4.
Oh, like 7.
Okay, yeah, you don't seem to see anyone who's kind of in dire need of hiring someone or in need of help or anything like that. You see people here seem to be quite self-sufficient. As you begin walking through the kind of rest of the district, you see what appears to be the guard of this district, or at least one of the guards of this district. You see 3 people kind of in this kind of like dark kind of blue and black kind of heavier armor, kind of like a blue and black cloak draped over one side. Pale blue skin, really gaunt. You see very light kind of makeup, kind of like tear marks kind of trailing down their face. Kind of like a wet blue hair, kind of like almost stuck to their face, kind of dripping down, these pointed elven ears. You see as three of them walk up to a group of similar looking creatures, but they seem to be more autumnal in their kind of colour scheme. They seem to be oranges, they seem to have, and like yellows, they seem to have like leaves kind of braided in their hair and are generally kind of like relaxed and kind of solemn kind of look about themselves.
So that would be Winter Guard and the Autumn Guard?
Yes. So you see as the Autumn Guard kind of walk, kind of are relieved, and then the Winter Guard kind of begin patrolling the streets.
Can I go up to any of them?
Yeah,
Please. Just, gentlemen, looking for a man named Philareth. Philareth?
Philareth.
Philareth.
Philareth. I love names.
It's quite hard in my accent.
Quite hard in mine as well.
Yes, we're looking for him to do some business with him.
Your best bet would be to go to escapades into bliss, but he doesn't take audiences often unless you're of some renown.
All right. We also hear there's somewhat of a plant problem that you're having.
On the eastern side, troublesome, but not really worth our time, as people haven't been dying or perishing from it.
What has been happening to them?
Illnesses.
Is that not worthy of attention?
I don't get paid to investigate goings on like that. As long as the streets are peaceful, that's our job.
Does someone get paid to do jobs like that?
Perhaps. I do not know.
Could it be us?
If you were to deal with it, it would be a benefit to the district, but I would be paying you.
Who do you, okay, right.
That's why I asked where
Yeah.
Philareth was.
Yeah, you might. Right, thanks.
As you were, kind of like solemnly.
We're already like 10 feet away.
Yeah, I don't want to be
No
paying
money!
you,
That
Yeah.
was incredibly
I'd
good
have just
effects.
been
I
looking-
loved it.
Yeah.
It was really
To
good.
try and catch up with them, I'd have just been looking for Garv. I feel like he's easy to find.
Yeah, you just see the huge kind of recesses of footprints kind of in the plant life that covers the floor here, and you're like, they went that way.
It's like a long line in the mud of where I was dragging the anchor.
This is fucking heavy.
Yeah, you get to the river market, yeah, you can see it's more kind of bustling. You don't see anyone that seems to be watching you or keeping tabs on you or anything like that.
That's good.
Okay.
How's the water looking?
Nice, and it's not clear, but it's good quality.
I'm going to jump in.
Yeah, you jump in at splash, you can kind of swimming around. You can see it's like
How
quite
deep is it?
quite a big basin. It kind of goes down to about 60, 70 feet
I'll
or
go
so.
down to the bottom and see what's on the bottom of the river floor.
Make an investigation check for me. You do see it's kind of like much like the river market itself. It's kind of donut shaped almost, because there's a pillar of land that the lighthouse is built on in the centre. But yeah, you can kind of swim around.
I'll just swim around the whole thing. Oh, that's gone pretty well. Investigation, was it? I
Yes.
think that's 19. Yes, it is. Well done, me knowing stats. Yeah, 19.
So you don't find anything of kind of immediate kind of note down here. I would say you do manage to find like 6 gold pieces that have just kind of been dropped as people kind of sailing around kind of down here. What you do come across is 2 or 3 kind of I think it seems to be kind of like chains that are affixed into the rock. They're only about like a foot or 2 long, but then have like manacles on the end of them, but like no one attached to them. They're just kind of like loose, and there seems to be like 4, 5, 6 of them kind of down here.
How large are the manacles?
They'd fit any kind of humanoid, really.
Ooh,
Just kind of like regular kind of size.
quite disturbing. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll come back up and I'm going to start looking to see if there's anyone selling potions, I guess.
I'll say it's good. Right, save us boat fare. Should I just go get potions and bring back?
Yeah,
I'll get the receipt and you just pay me for what you want.
That works for me.
I want to buy a lot.
Okay, how many?
Like as much as I can afford.
Okay, well, how much money you got?
94 gold.
Okay, well, I've got more than that.
I'll come back to the group and be like, I can help too, I can just swim over.
Perfect. So,
Alright, well, as many as you can get for 94 gold. And like a bandolier to like put them all in.
I'll see what I think we need a tailor for that.
Or just
I need to see a tailor, actually.
Well,
So we can go there afterwards. Right. Cool, I'll fly off and see if I can find a potion seller.
Yeah, easy enough. You can find it. There seems to be 2 or 3 kind of on here, kind of selling different kinds of potions. There's one person that seems to specialise in kind of more healing and restorative potions. There's one person that seems to kind of have a kind of wide range. But yeah, you go to the healing one.
Has anyone else chipped in for this plan?
I will. I'd like to. I think.
How much gold do you
I've got
have?
181.
181.
2 would be great for me as well, please.
Cool. 4.
So yeah, you see, as you kind of like hover down, you see this kind of almost like square-shaped boat almost, but it's just rectangular. You see this kind of like quite a nice kind of like hank, like it's like pinched at the top and like a sheet that kind of comes down and then kind of it's like a bell shape, I guess, like kind of cloth over the boat. Kind of see-through material. You can see this woman kind of sat behind kind of elven, kind of pointed ears, green of skin, kind of green hair that kind of like flows down to braided to one side. You can see she's got kind of various potions on little racks. I think it will be like test tube potions to kind of, I guess, maximise kind of weight capacity of the boat. She just comes down, kind of, you've kind of flutter down, she's kind of taken aback a little bit as you kind of like swim up as well. She goes,
Hello.
Gentlemen, greetings, evening. We don't usually get many avian. A bit of a shock there, I've got to say.
I've not seen any around, it's a shame.
I'm the normal one here. Excellent.
Yeah, odd one, that. We want to buy some health potions.
Of course, everyone does. What would you like?
What do you got? I got 94 gold. What can I get with that?
Well, you'd probably be within range of our standard healing potions. That would be... We usually do them at about 50 a pop, but if you were to buy in bulk, I could give you a discount.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
going to be quite a large order, I think, because, I mean...
Well, I've got...
How many do you have?
Currently got 10 on hand.
You've got 10 and that would be
So
500.
that would be 500, but I'd be willing
Okay.
to knock it down to...
Would you do it for 350?
Roll persuasion.
Can I
Any
assist
chance
seeing
you're
as I'm
helping
here?
me with
Yeah.
that?
You got advantage.
That was a 17 and 18, so
Yeah.
that's non-nat 20.
She says, 350? Yes, I can... Yeah, that's amicable.
350 between us, so...
I'll even throw in this old bandolier that I have.
Ah!
Alright. A friend of ours was looking for one of those. That's amazing. Thank you very much.
Shocking.
Friend of mine was looking to get rid of it, so...
Small world.
There we go.
I shouldn't have sold it the other day.
350 divided by 5, that's 70 each.
Yeah.
Plus my Stella, so a little bit less. I don't know. I mean,
Calculators. What was it? 350.
By 6, I guess. He's got enough.
That's... If we want to leave a tip, it's 60 gold each, or 58, 59 each.
let's just do 60 gold each.
60 gold each, okay. And that's 10. So that's like 1.5 potions each. Oh, how do we,
And a common healing potions. And there you go, that's one of those.
Yay!
As if I had it prepared behind the screen.
How do potions work with this one? Is it 2 uses per, or
I just do one as bonus action.
1 use of each potion as bonus action? Cool. So
How are we divvying these up?
you wanted...
As many as I can have.
Mastella would quite like to take 2, being that he's squishy and gets into combat quite a bit.
I'm fine.
Foolishly.
You wanted 2,
I also
you wanted
wanted
2, he wanted 2, so
How many
that's
do we have?
6.
2, 4, 6.
We've got 10.
Yeah.
I'll take 1.
Yeah, perfect. I'll take 1 as well.
Cool.
So we get 1, everyone else gets 2.
2. Cool.
1, 1, 2, 2, 2.
And these are just common healing potions, yes?
Yes, they do 2d4 plus 2.
0, 2,
Is it uncommon, did you say?
I was like, that
common.
doesn't sound that strong, but then I just looked at Mastella's max health, which is 14, so...
What? Oh, right.
How is it 14 at third level?
because
He's a sorcerer with a 0 con bonus.
Ah, right, that makes sense.
And he wants to do
Was it
melee.
2d4 plus 1?
2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2. Crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, it's crazy.
Right, so we've done that. Thank you very much for your service.
Bounce ahead.
Grab, mine and Gad's shares. And the
Oh,
bandolier.
just out of interest, do you sell any other kind of potions at all? What kind of things do you offer?
Well, they're all healing, really, but we have a few variants. So we have regular, greater, superior. We have some potions of health, which just kind of raises one's general well-being for some time. Potions that cure diseases, potions that cure poisons.
And how much for one of those curing diseases?
Oh, I put it at about seem to like you too quite a bit. So I put that at 80.
Oh,
You know I can cure disease of the fountain. So.
I don't know that. You're not here.
It's for Garth, actually.
I don't have that, I'm afraid, but thank you for the offering a discount.
Feel free to come back.
Flash back to the group. Potions in bandolier.
Strap on my bandolier. I'm slowly becoming
Fit quite nicely around your bicep.
I'm slowly becoming Chewbacca.
Oh, you need to beat up a golden warforged.
Tear off his arms.
Carrying around the backpack.
Jesus. Right. Where to now?
That was all I wanted to do for now. So we could go find this
plant boy.
Philolith, or if anyone has anything else they want to do on.
Nope, just work, get some money.
Yes, at some point I'd like to visit the lighthouse, but beyond that I'm...
We're right here.
Do you mind if I pop off and meet you somewhere?
Are we allowed to get in? Like,
there's a door there. There doesn't seem to be like a guarding it.
It's like a holy place, right?
Yeah. As far as you're aware, that it is a temple to Celestian, who is the god. You quite know. You and Marcella would just know this, being worshippers of Saloon.
Yep.
He's the god of stars and wanderers, and is kind of closely related to Saloon.
Okay, I thought you said last session it was with Celine as well, but it's fine.
Hmm? It's just a Celestian, but it's likely that they would accept you in being worshippers of Saloon. They wouldn't be like, another religion? Nah.
In that case, for the moment, I'll leave the town.
Okay.
I'll pop by later.
Let's go find that guy. Or
Where was he at the Bountiful Pleasures place?
yeah.
The escapades into bliss.
That's the one. Close.
Yeah, do you kind of retrace your steps, kind of going back into the court of Ceralites?
Follow the line that I carved in the ground.
following the footsteps, kind of exactly. You come to what was the kind of small building, maybe about this wide, kind of wedged between two others, made out of wood. It looks quite ramshackled, kind of a rickety old door on it. You kind of think, he's rich, why would he live in a place like this? But you've been told that this is the place where he lives. There's no guard on the door, no one seems to be attending it.
Sorry, whose house is this?
This is Philorith, yeah.
In I go.
So you get a knock? Or just walk in?
So it's an establishment.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you kind of knock and then Fuaro kind of walks in, you see this
Okay.
narrow building kind of goes back about 20 feet before it descends with some stairs kind of going into darkness. You see like a counter here. And you think you don't see anyone kind of manning it at first. You think it's just an empty room, and you can see this room's kind of dimly lit by some sourceless kind of light. And you see as 4 figures kind of flutter their tiny pixie wings as they land kind of on the desk, some kind of still floating around. You see these tiny creatures, kind of just in kind of regular leathers, but obviously much smaller, kind of like flutter around. You see one with kind of like red hair kind of tied up, just greetings, welcome to Escapades into Bliss.
Would I have seen anything like this before?
Make a nature check for me. You may have been a druid, possibly heard of them.
I might have heard of them. No, it's no 6.
No, you've
I
never
don't
heard of
know.
these before.
Awesome.
You are very small. Instead, I thought you said you were the smallest thing.
I frankly didn't think it was possible, but here we are.
Small in stature, yes, but I can punch when we need to. We actually are the bodyguard to this place.
Alright, I'm in the business too. Here's my card.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, God.
Oh, interesting. Nice to meet you, guard. Kind of waves it, kind of, and it like disappears.
Alright.
Cool.
It's easier to store things that way. I'm small.
That's fair enough. You could have used this like a glider.
I've got wings.
Yeah, but like when you're tired.
I don't usually get tired.
Lucky for some, I guess.
How long is your stay? Are you looking to get a room with us, or are you looking for a bit of the VIP treatment, or are you just coming for a drink?
We're actually here to see a guy called Failure.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we're deadly serious.
Regarding what? He kind of doesn't just see just anyone.
This is a plant-based problem, and we hear he's the man to talk about to deal with it and get payment.
Evil plants.
Yeah,
Yes,
town
yes.
security.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course, I can have him come and meet you. You won't be allowed up to his area. Though.
That's fine.
Someone could chuck me another pencil.
Sure, have mine.
There's a jar of
I can't
pencils.
grab the jar.
Who do you think you are?
It's
lovely.
lovely. Passing
It's-
jars.
It seems it at first, and then you spend
Okay, sorry, I'm trying
3
find
to
one with an
4
eraser.
years using that fucking cone.
The WKD cocktail.
Yeah.
We've never drank out of it ever.
Oh, I think we drank out of our other one once.
Maybe,
in like
yeah.
first year. It doesn't seem to anyone, but I'm sure he'll speak to you. A few rules to go over when going in there. No fights. No wandering off. If you wander off, whatever happens to you is your own fault, and we hold no liability for any dangers or escapades that you may get into, no matter how fun they are. Also, please don't bag any of the VIP clientele. They'll be marked in their own area, but they tend to like to keep to
So
themselves.
don't bite any of them.
Don't bug.
Bag.
Sorry.
Don't
Don't bite them either.
Well,
What
that
if
would,
they ask us to?
Well, that's fine, but as long as they ask. And just
what if they ask
Consent is
first
important.
and then later on they complain?
well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And also, just don't wonder about the estate or the places that you're not allowed to go into. There's very easily designated places for all the guests, so...
And other places that we're not meant to go, are they also easily designated? Because
They are, yes.
That's amazing, because I get lost very easily.
I look at Foira, don't wander off.
You think so low of me.
I
don't.
second that message.
And also, none of you can stop me.
I would like to though.
I have taken a spell specifically to stop you for this.
Have you?
Yes. Earthbind.
He's not wondering if I fly.
Most importantly, though, have a good time and enjoy.
So, you said that you're not liable for anything that happens, even if it's fun. What happens here?
Oh, it's not what happens here, it's what happens in Escapades into Bliss. Follow me, and I'll show you. And he kind of flutters off and flutters down the stairs.
Okay, I guess I follow him.
Are we sure we want
Him, her, them?
well, the small
Them?
one coming in?
Him.
I
Did you
didn't-
do male?
The scene on the
I
way
didn't ask
outside
him,
made
is
him blush redder than tomato. Do we really want him to come in here?
I can put him in my pocket if you like.
That'd be nice, yeah. Too innocent.
Are you putting him in your pocket?
Stella.
His childlike eyes aren't ready.
Oh no, what am I going to do?
We have no HR department.
Please take your giant hands off of me.
I
So
guess
you-
we're following
Did you kind of follow down?
I'm going to ask this pixie his name.
My name is, this is one that I haven't actually prepared.
Kevin.
Yeah, my name's Kev.
Yes.
I put my hand on Foiro's shoulder.
What?
I'm just making sure. I don't know what's about to happen.
Okay, you protect me from the world, not the world from me.
No, I know. That's what I'm doing.
Don't let me have any fun.
I'm going to let you have fun. If
Good.
you're good.
Oh. Okay, Dad.
Don't.
So, you kind of like led down these stairs about 20 feet or so into a room that's about 10 feet by 10 feet. And you can see kind of this room is nondescript, apart from the kind of plants that grow around it. And what stands in the middle of this room is this large stone archway glowing with this kind of green, kind of natural energy. You can see kind of trees and plant life kind of beyond, but it's hard to tell. It kind of ripples and shifts in weird ways. He goes, well, follow me, and just vanishes through the portal.
I'll step on through.
Yeah. No hesitation. Let's just go.
You all step on through, and you are immediately met with the smell of just beautiful plant life, fresh fruit, and just as you kind of breathe it all in, you can hear bird song, you can hear low hushed kind of conversations, you can hear very nice high pitched string music as you see a band kind of playing off to one side. Before you see unraveling fields and fields and fields of wild plant life, kind of large kind of man traps. You see big beautiful roses, but about 50 times the size of a normal rose, kind of like sprouting out to the size of trees. You can see kind of like a hedge maze off to one side, kind of blooming with loads of different kind of tiny little flowers, and some people kind of wandering around that general area. You see a bar kind of directly in front of you that kind of blocks kind of the rest of the view out into this expanse. You kind of look up to the sky and you can see purples fading into light blues, fading into oranges and yellows, fading into reds, and an even deeper kind of orange that kind of permeates the sky kind of off to one side, as the sky here seems to be in a permanent kind of dusk. You kind of look around and kind of behind you as you step from the pool, you can see this archway is built into the side of this grand, stately manor. 2, 3, 4 floors. You would guess that the marble work would be nice or aristocratic, but you can't tell simply because of the amount of plant life that's growing over all of it. This building represents the entire district of the Court of Celeritis. You can see almost every kind of plant across the spectrum, regardless of normal habitat. You see a few underwater plants kind of growing just out in the open air here. You should kind of look around and take in the denizens of this place. You can see elves with even more elongated ears than you're used to. You can see a few centaurs. You can see some small creatures about this big that kind of whip around kind of faster than you can even see. You see kind of people kind of in noble finery, kind of dressed very well, having very nice drinks, kind of chatting here or there. You see a staircase that kind of winds up an oak tree kind of to the left and up to a higher balcony where you can just about see some other people, but you can't really make out any details. There seems to be a rope kind of like across the entrance to the stairway with a fairly large kind of centaur there, kind of like arms crossed, kind of a full plate mail going down both the human and horse body. The pixie kind of gestures to the back and goes, well, get yourself acquainted. Have any of you been to the Feywild before?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Those plants shouldn't be here. They're meant to be underwater. How is that?
Well, in the material plane, they should be underwater, but in the Feywild, everything natural kind of comes out, really. So you can find anything, any what's anywheres.
I just use druidcraft to make a load of seaweed appear.
Yeah, it kind of appears and then kind of weirdly kind of floats in the wind as if it were underwater.
Oh, guys, I think I might like this place quite a lot.
As you kind of like, it flutters off towards the centaur, kind of talks to it a bit, and then kind of flutters up to the balcony up top as you kind of see the bar before you. A couple of people stood there, but it doesn't seem to be too busy at this
I'm
point.
going to go up to the bar and ask for a tea.
Yeah, you see there's seems to be an elven gentleman here, kind of very nice kind of regalia on, kind of seems to be washing a glass. Big kind of like pointy ears, pointier than any high elves that you've ever seen, kind of very beautiful, delicate kind of face, kind of slick back black hair, and says, "Greetings! What may I get you all? Tea, did you say?
Yes, I'd like a tea, please.
What kind of tea? Are you looking for anything that will calm you? Hallucinogenic? Regular?
No.
Chamomile?
What was that second one you said?
Chamomile?
No, the...
Oh, hallucinogenic, yes.
That's,
Some people like to lose their minds while here.
Don't do that.
Oh, no, I'm not in the business of losing my mind.
Okay.
It's hard enough up here for me.
I'll take 6
Well,
hallucinogenic teas.
Are we in a different plane?
You are indeed. This is the Feywild.
Oh, I'm very far from home.
Well, actually, you're quite near. That portal there links the two.
Oh. I'll just have a very, very calming tea, please.
Of course, that would be 60 gold.
I will have nothing. Thank you.
How much is a rum?
Rum? It depends what kind. We've got 3 kinds. We've got a fireball rum that kind of burns as it goes down. We've got a standard kind of, I was going to say Kraken rum then, but that's actually a brand.
Yeah. And they do not
What
sponsor
did we
us.
call it last time? Like, homeowner. No, what was it?
Oh, it's Captain Morgan's real estate. Real estate tip.
Real estate, yeah. We've got Real estate Tim's.
My fine brand.
And we've also got a blend that we've put through with some Evermead as well.
With Evermead, you say?
Did someone say Evermead?
Would you gents like a glass?
Of Evermead, yeah. Forget the rum. Just Evermead.
It would be 100 gold each.
Fuck's sake. Or cheapest rum?
Cheapest rum, 40. If we do you a shot.
I'm just not going to bother.
Large tankard of tap water, please.
Can do. He kind of pulls this like beautiful kind of wood carved
5,000
kind of tankard from the side. Kind of like waves his arm, and you see this from his sleeve. This fresh water begins to just kind of trickle into it. And there you are, gentlemen.
Oh, he's got to go work all shift with a wet sleeve now. That's the worst.
You kind of,
I just want to check. Is the water free?
yes.
Oh, then...
Oh, that's lucky.
Yes, lots of water.
Lines up glasses and then just like whoosh, it fills them all by moving. So you kind of pass them all to you. You see every tankard or glass here is completely different, intricately carved out of some different kind of wood, some with plant life kind of growing in and around it. And this seems to be, you would know because you were told that you would be allowed to stay here due to your stipend. But this is like noble / like aristocratic kind of living.
Well, I know the value of these here mugs.
Make
6,000 gold.
Steal from here, I want to sleep.
What was it?
Just general intelligence.
Intelligence. Not bad. That's a non-nat 20.
You reckon you could, like, for like tankards that are usually like maybe a gold, you could probably sell one of these tankards for like 50 gold. Like, it is like artisan level craft work.
Fucking gold.
Might I remind you, having spotted you lying up the glove, we're here to make money anyway.
That's true.
Does anyone have the mending spell?
No.
I get in my coat, Marstella. Do you have the mending spell?
I can.
You almost definitely won't, but...
You think he would, considering he's a blacksmith?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping. Yeah. Also, I said to him, "Oh, you probably like this guy here. Shame about that." And I closed the coat up.
He does not.
It's a.
I can cast firebolt.
How is that?
Yeah, how's that
How's that
anything
helpful?
remotely similar to what we asked of you?
Such a Thomas.
I enjoy my tap water.
So you see as
How
after
occupied the area again? Much security just around this way? Or?
you can't see many. Like
Yeah.
you actually make a perception check.
Yeah.
You've seen a centaur gun that's been guarded and
Nah, not high enough. Perception,
Yeah.
therefore.
Yeah, you don't see many guards. You see the centaur and a couple of pixies flying around, but weirdly underguarded.
Can I just generally do like an ocular pat down of the whole area?
Yeah, make a perception check.
It's not bad. 14.
So 14, you kind of like take in the area. Again, you don't see many like guards or like openly see any like guards that are like in armor kind of stood guarding places. You notice on the balcony up above there seems to be kind of fancier tables and kind of like table service going on. You assume this to be the VIP kind of area. And as your kind of like eyes are kind of like wandering across there, you see as the pixie Kev flies down towards you. Goes, he's actually invited you up.
Hang on, let me finish my drink.
I'm going to keep carrying mine with me and up we go.
Yeah, so you kind of like led up this spiral staircase.
It's empty at this point.
You can see the balcony kind of breaks off into two sides. To one side there seems to be a few kind of like tables and chairs kind of made out of vines and wood. Kind of seem to be very like relaxing. Kind of you see one that kind of has like a swinging kind of chair in it.
Cool.
Every fancy place likes those, so why not? And then on the other side you can see what appears to be kind of like a lone kind of chair that kind of looks out across this beautiful vista, kind of like across the entirety of this kind of land here in this estate.
I'm just going to do a very quick experiment just to see what's going to happen with these mugs. I'm going to finish my drink and then on the stairs, I guess, just put it down very quickly. I just want to see if it disappears.
So you put it down, so wait a couple of moments, and then you see some vines begin to and like just take it in.
Okay, yeah, they're magical in some regard. You can't get over
I
that.
don't think you should be taking that for
I don't.
I think you should just put that down on the
You
stairs.
don't know what I'm planning.
I
don't want to know.
I do.
No.
I really do.
I've said nothing. I've been sly.
So as you're kind of led to this left side of the balcony, you're led to this kind of like lone chair that kind of has one table with kind of various glasses and bottles on it. You see it seems to have like a big kind of almost like shisha pipe as well. You see standing up for it you're not too sure of the gender at first. You see kind of like just this beautiful kind of like delicate elven face, kind of like these pointed ears, this long flowing hair that flows to like the middle of the back or lower torso almost, kind of bright green in colour with various kind of like blossoming leaves kind of just coming out of the hair here and there. You see robes that kind of accentuate kind of like this kind of very thin, tall figure, also kind of all these greens and kind of colours generally associated with spring. You see kind of like the arms are bare with various kind of like vine tattoos kind of wrapping around. You can see on this gentleman, that's a man now, never mind. Kind of like delicate kind of eyes that seem, the green of the eyes seems to be almost like as piercing as the hair and the robes, but they don't seem to blend in. They seem to just kind of stand out and kind of just look into you. You see kind of like a soft kind of smile creep up the face, and you can see kind of a few trinkets kind of strapped to the body here and there. And he kind of stands up, kind of looks across all of them and says, "Greetings! Nice to meet you all. Thank you for coming into Escapades into Bliss.
Thanks.
The name is Entrepreneur Filareth. Filareth, yes. That's the one. That's the one.
How's it?
Gotcha.
Few drinks.
Hello.
Yes.
Oh, I
More
thought
than
Solomon
a few.
just couldn't pronounce it.
More than
No.
a few. So I understand that my good companion Kev has told me that you are looking into the business of the rather naughty plants we have in the district.
Yes.
Yes.
We're wondering if we get any form. To be straight with you, any form of reward if we were to solve the situation.
Well, it would certainly help my district. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind either putting you up here for a night or even just paying you some gold, the more boring option.
There we go.
Yes,
Okay,
we have
go
some... yes, it's best if at this time the district is as clean as friendly as possible, and that would...
Why'd you say it this
Why?
time?
Yeah, what's happening?
no reason. Just
Is it because
Inside.
Blackbeard's here?
right inside.
That is a 19.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason. He seems to be kind of keeping up presentation almost. You feel like...
Is it because Blackbeard's here?
Kind of looks to you, kind of doesn't say anything, and just kind of says, "We have some special people in the district, and
Yeah, it's Blackbeard.
it is best if they are impressed, as otherwise it shines a bad light on me, and when a bad light is on me, a bad light is on my district. So, you can do this, go, clean up whatever problem is there, come back with information maybe. That would be absolutely splendid."
Right, well, we're actually in the business of making things better. So, if you have any other problems that you might see fit to reward with financial compensation, we're your guys.
No problems at the moment that I can't deal with myself, but yes, I tend to spend most of my time here, so I can't usually go and fix my own district every now and again. It's what the guard for, but oh well.
Well, we spoke to some of them and they seemed quite unhelpful.
The Winter Guard, I imagine.
Yes.
That did seem...
Miserable bastards, the lot of them, I can tell you that much. Nothing like myself.
No, quite. You're quite the charming person.
Thank you very much, I do try.
You do seem very much more of a springtime.
I am indeed a spring Eladrin. Yes.
I'm sorry, what was that last word?
Eladrin. We're a type of elves native here to the Feywild. We tend to align with the seasons, and it always being spring here brings a smile to my heart.
Can
and
I
my
ask
face.
if those flowers naturally grow out of your hair? Have you put them there?
They do, natural. All natural.
That's
Maybe he's born with it.
that's more than I think I needed to know, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's sorcery.
Yes, inspiration. Anyway, I've got much more important things to attend to, so sorry to kind of shove you off.
No, you've told
so
anything.
soon,
What
but,
anything you can tell us? What's been happening? They've been making people ill. What kind of
Making people
plants?
ill,
Where they've been roughly.
Just regular plants that are seen, or as regular as you can get for native to the Feywild. Started. People noticed it kind of around the well at first, so maybe that'd be a good place to start. But just do whatever your gut tells you to do.
Does
I
that well
suppose.
lead anywhere?
Must lead underground. It provided water at some point.
Okay. I got quite a few questions just because I don't like to get myself into too much bother. This well, you said it leads underground. Is there like a series of tunnels or anything under the district?
I'd imagine there's a sewer system or something. There seems to be caves here and there around, but I don't tend to dirty myself with the goings on there.
Oh, I mean, any information that you have that could help us in making sure that this city is as presentable as possible.
Nothing more I could really tell, to be honest. They just kind of popped up. I had one of my boys kind of go and look. He went mad, and then you guys arrived.
Again,
What was that last bit?
Yeah.
Went mad. He couldn't handle the spores, said he could hear everyone's voices or something. It sounds quite fun, to be honest. I wouldn't mind giving that a go myself.
Right, well, if you need any more dirty work done, here's my card. It just says my name on it.
Kind of very daintily, kind of picks it up and goes, "Yes, well, I believe most of the work might be above your station at the moment, but if you impress on this job, there may be more in the future. Should you do that?" He kind of like flicks his hands, and you see as it kind of like a burst of petals kind of dissipates as the card disappears.
I have
destroying
one
your
more
cards.
question.
I
and
like
I-
it.
I just have one more question that I promise we'll get out of your wonderful hair. To the value of how much is this job worth to you?
Depends on how bad it is, and depends on what you can bring me about why it's caused it. I mean, Yeah.
Alright, so you're after information, not just destruction.
Not just. If you could, any of the plants that aren't corrupted, if you could not destroy them, that would be fabulous. As it kind of pains me whenever one is plucked. But
I can make you more plants if need be, and I just do druidcraft again and make I will attempt for the nicest bouquet of roses I've ever made. It is also the only bouquet of roses I've ever made, so let's fucking hope this goes well.
make a just roll and add your wisdom modifier.
Actually,
It's
don't
like
know
an
what
8-year-old
roses look
drawing.
like.
That's not
17.
17. So you make quite a nice bouquet of roses kind of in your hand as you offer it to him. He kind of looks, oh, a druid. Very,
Oh, hello.
very cute. And he kind of clicks his fingers and moves his hands, and you watch as the entire balcony around you begins to blossom with roses of varying sizes and varying colours. He goes,
Yeah. Now do fireballs. Now do fireballs.
that's more my style. Perhaps we could
I feel I have a lot to
Learn
learn
from
from you.
Possibly. Well, I have lived here my entire life, so I'm somewhat akin with all kinds of flowers.
Can we be hurt when we're here?
Kind of reaches over, kind of pinches you. It kind of hurts a bit, and he goes,
Alright.
I wouldn't do that to him.
no?
I saw a man do that once. I never saw that man again.
Well, I'm
I removed everyone's eyes.
Everyone.
it sounds like a lot of fun, but yeah, I'm afraid
I was the fortunate one that got mine back. Because I was good.
it'd be very hard pressed to take my eyes. I can tell you.
Oh, no,
You see as the
I wouldn't
eyes
take your
kind of
eyes.
flash
I wouldn't take your
with
eyes.
some kind of arcane power.
Apart from maybe out to dinner.
And he kind of looks and he says, just change of gear. I'm afraid,
Taking it into fifth!
flattered, always want to be receiving of flattery, but I'm afraid I'm probably a little bit above your league.
I do the clothes.
Kind of goes, very nice, but you've only got one appendage.
Oh no, I'm willing to go wherever.
Yes, well, again, I'm afraid I've seen a lot wilder than a hung Goliath.
Right, well, I guess I'll pick my clothes back up then. And let's get on with this blood killing business.
Man with confidence, though, I like that.
Well, you've seen what I've got, and balls in your court.
I turn and walk away. This
No, it's just side-eyeing him like...
Fuwara's been gone for a while now. He's back in the material plane. Yeah.
It seems like my companions have left, and I will too.
If you don't mind, yes, I've got important things to get back to. You see, he goes, sits in his chair and just starts smoking while looking out over the view.
Dive off the balcony.
Deck save.
So you kind of ushered down. You are you sticking around at all, or are you going straight back on?
Straight there. Straight to that well.
Straight
Cool. Yes,
Oh, we should have asked where that well was.
he would have told you. Yeah.
Fantastic news.
There's a waypoint on our map.
Yeah, you know it's on the eastern side of the district.
We hit the tower. Like we've got the map of this area.
Before I was stood like on the lake.
I love any given Ubisoft game.
As you go on through, you the usual kind of like vibrant, bright plant life that you're used to kind of slowly changes as you get to the eastern side of the district. It seems to be contained within one kind of not markets, not like square, but it seems to be like a one opening, one like pass through. And there seems to be this well that kind of has kind of vines kind of grown all over it. They seem to be much darker green of colour. Some seem to have even veins of black kind of running down them. And every now and again, as you walk by like a plant, you see some spores will just like burst out, and you can't help but breathe them in. It doesn't seem to have any detrimental effects, but it just kind of the plant life here seems to be a bit more aggressive than passive.
I take my shirt and I just like bop it up over my face.
Do I have? I assume I'd have like some form of empty bottle or something on me.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I just catch some of the spores in it and like cork it up.
Yeah, so you do so.
Yeah, cool. All right. There's that. Take that back to him later. Well, can I have a peek, see how deep this well looks?
Yeah, so you kind of like pull away at some of the plant life, and it's harder to. You see, you kind of like take some energy from you, and you look down, you can see that the entire like kind of walls of the well are just covered in this plant life. Make a perception check for me.
Let us perceive. That's not bad. 19.
19. You can see it's about 70 feet deep. There's some shallow water at the bottom with some stairs that kind of lead up onto a surface. More importantly, what you seem to notice is there are like natural kind of like footholds kind of going down around the well. And with your fairly large perception check, you notice that every like third or fifth, I thought your hand was just in a cup of tea then.
Elliot's crazy, man.
Yeah, every like third or fifth kind of foothold is a lot weaker and looks like it would give way if someone were to try and use and climb them without knowing where they are.
Okay. So I relay this information to the group at large. I reckon we should head on down.
Yeah.
Would I fit?
Yes, it's
That's good.
fairly wide well.
So whatever the problem is, it's got stuff down there.
Have we noticed any of the bad plants up on this like surface level?
Apart from the main thing that sticks out, kind of like
The vines on
the
the well.
vines and the spores, like they kind of like splash out kind of in your face every now and again, and while it doesn't seem to do anything, you feel like prolonged kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Contact.
Yeah, prolonged contact with these spores might do you some harm. But yeah, there's no immediate effect. But they seem to be like, not even when you touch them, when you come within like 5 feet, they just like burst.
Well, the guy said like the guy went mad, or
Yeah, he said that he could like hear the voices of everyone around him.
Yeah, I'll take like, if I have it, just like a spare bit of cloth and just tie it around my
I'll
face.
do the same if I can.
I'm going to follow suit.
You won't do that.
Yeah. Pretty easy. for you to
Nice. Down we go. Watch your steps going down. Keep a lookout. It's every second or third one broken up. And I dive on in.
do. Yeah, so you can quite easily just float down. As the rest of you climb down, knowing where the kind of like more dodgy footholes are, you can very easily kind of avoid them climbing down into this well.
Is anyone able to make light?
I have dark vision, but I can't make light.
I can light a torch.
Yeah.
You know
That's
it's
probably going to be
dark,
more
yeah.
useful. What with having fire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's going to be good. Yeah, I like when I get to the bottom, just light a torch.
Cool. Yeah, so you've got a torch then. You can see kind of like this plant life kind of growing over all the walls, kind of like almost like moving, almost like pulsing like veins as well.
That's gross.
You see the stairway kind of leads to the north and then onto a walkway that leads out to the east. As you come up to the top of the stairs, you can see there's like a 2 foot wide crack in the wall that seems to like recess in deeper where these plants are kind of growing into. And you can see off to the right, it seems to open up into a bigger chamber again with kind of like plant life kind of in there, but you can't see entirely what's in there at the moment.
Let's head onwards then.
Yes,
Head on.
upwards.
Found a way to
Downwards.
a dungeon.
So,
Oh no.
So we go-
Maybe there'll be a dragon.
so we headed off to the bigger chamber.
Yes.
So as you come on out into this room, you can see this is quite a large chamber. It is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 45 feet by 50 feet. On the northern and southern side, there are these pillars that kind of raise up out of the water into the ceiling, as there seems to be some kind of large body of water, kind of mainly in this room. The pillars again, kind of like covered with these vines, kind of like wrapping up around them. You can't even see the actual stonework that's built there. It's kind of like a move of a wave as this room's full of water, but you can't see into the water as the surface is just entirely covered with moss and various growths. There's kind of like just like a dark kind of green kind of feel to the room. You see kind of tied off to this end and kind of going across in between the pillars is a rope. And kind of resting on top of the water seems to be like a pallet of sorts that you could stand on and then like pull yourself across to an opening that is on the other side of the room. To the north side of the room and about 15 feet up, you can see there's like a little kind of like balcony almost. It's not got like a railing or anything, but it seems to be like another flat area with a recess kind of going into a cavern.
First off, before we go on, because we've got these lines on the walls, don't we?
Yes.
Can I try with my lit torch, maybe burning one of them, just
Yes,
see what happens?
As you fly over, you see the fire like takes to it much slower than it would normal plant life, and you see it's almost like they react and kind of like pull away rather than being burnt away.
Okay.
But yeah, you see there are singe marks, but yeah, it doesn't seem to take like a normal fire would to normal plants.
Burning's not going to do much.
I'm going to take my quarterstaff and like just swirl it around in the water a little bit just to see if there's any sign of trouble.
Kind of moves
like
around.
from interaction with the water.
Doesn't seem to hit anything. There's no like interaction with the water. You see it kind of like dissipates some of the moss, and you can kind of see this murky kind of like brownish green water underneath that's about as obscured as the water is with the moss on it anyway.
Oh, I think I'm going to regret this. I'm going to put my head under the water
Make a perception check for me.
This reminds me of my swamp.
Oh.
What are you doing in my swamp?
You can take points if you want to lead this particular expedition.
That was a critical fail.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
you go down, the water is just murky, you can't see anything.
Nope, we can't see anything in there, guys.
Good old.
Means there's nothing there.
Fine. Can I have a look up at that balcony?
Yep, so you're just flying up there.
Yep.
So as you fly up, there seems to be like a few kind of crates to one side. Again, have these kind of plant life kind of overgrown all over the top of it.
Mm.
And there seems to be a wider kind of like a cavern. It doesn't seem to be man-made, much like the one that you saw as you just came in from the well. It's about 5 foot across, and it goes like forward and curves off to the left, with another one kind of coming off the side.
Okay, I'll return to the party. There's more up there.
You said you're from a swamp that this reminds you of.
Yes.
Do you have any experience of things like this?
Nothing that I know of. No, this is clearly infected water, I think, from the plants and the spores. I don't know. We must find the source, I think.
Sounds like a plan.
How do we get up there to the balcony?
I mean, I assume
Would we be able to climb the vines? Like, are they climbable?
Yeah, you could certainly try.
it's like halfway across, like over the water, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's like it's about 15 feet up and about 20 feet kind of away from the center of where the raft kind of, or the pallet kind of goes across the room, and you can see kind of like the open archway to the far east.
What's
of
on
the
the balcony? Is there like a railing?
There's like a couple of crates, but it's just like a balcony that just drops off.
Oh, I'll go back. I'll have a look in those crates if there's anything.
If you pry them open, you kind of get a immediate kind of like awful smell of just mouldy food. If you kind of look into it, and you can see it's been left here for some time.
Oh, good.
Is there anything you tie a rope to? Is there anything you could tie a rope to for Wado?
I'll take a look. Anything?
One of the vines, possibly, or
don't trust them.
one of the crates, depending on how heavy the person is climbing up.
Halves that full of heavy.
Yeah, you probably need to hammer it in with like a piton or something like that, which rogues get anyway. I believe it's part of their style gear.
Okay, attach one up here. Or do we want to do it on a straight first? Use the palace, get across, see what's over there.
Might as well.
Let's just
Save
do
the effort. We might be able to walk our way around
let's do
later.
everything we can on this level, and
Then do the rest.
go up later.
Alright.
Fantastic. Right.
So yeah, you can probably fit about 2 people on the pallet at a time. Garv, you're probably going to sink the pallet if you stand on it.
Right. How deep is this water, Cythus?
Your quarterstaff didn't touch the bottom when you put it in.
How long is your quarterstaff?
Oh, give me a second. And in a moment of calm, I don't remember if there's a verbal component to casting dark vision on myself or not. Verbals. Everything. Hang on, I'm going to get something out of my pocket. No, that's the healing potion. There we go. I got a pinch of dried carrot. I'm just going to lick it. Oh, that was disgusting, but I can see a lot better now. Right, I'm going to dive down into the water. I should have dark vision for 8 hours up to 60 feet.
Just wanted a snack, you know.
Unrelated.
Now I can do it.
As you kind of jump into the water, you can kind of see out to 60 feet. And what you see that you didn't see last time, you can see kind of this chamber goes about 40 feet down. It seems to be some old like sewer chamber. What you see is 7 figures that, when the water was disturbed, seem to have got their attention as they are kind of swimming towards you. As they kind of like,
I go back.
as they kind of come into sight, you can see these are humanoids. You notice that these are all kind of like elven in look, but they have kind of like spores kind of growing up out of their skin.
No,
You can see kind of like mushrooms kind of coming out of their face.
That's the last of us.
Yeah.
As they now know that you're here, probably more initiative.
Hate them.
Ellie!
Hate them.
Dang it.
At least you didn't go on the raft before finding them.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Oh my god!
That sounded good for you guys.
I think we've all done okay.
Yeah.
Haven't we done well?
Hell, we have.
We've done very well for
We have
ourselves.
Poirot.
24.
Oh,
Dang.
4, damn. Okay, Garth.
15.
15, River.
Nat 20.
Nice. Cythus.
16.
16, and them.
18.
18. Very good initiative, right, guys.
Oh yeah.
So, up first with the natural 20 is River.
What did
Oh,
we
we've got to
still
do a
get
thing.
as well?
7.
So presumably I haven't. I
Okay.
can't. Can I see them yet? Are they out of the
You can't
water?
see them. Cythus just dived in and then just like climbed back out after a couple of seconds.
I guess I should ready something then, shouldn't I? That sounds fun. Let's ready. I'm just gonna get my weapons ready, and as soon as I see something, I'm gonna go at it with a a rapier smash with divine smite attached to it.
Nice. You kind of got that. You kind of got it ready. You see the energy of Saloon begins to kind of like glow down the end of the bridge.
Hell yeah, it does.
Waro.
Pretty much the same thing. Gonna sit on the edge. Actually, I'm gonna fly up, sort of hover in the air, and aim towards where they'd probably come out from.
So
with the gun and
yeah, so
hold my
you
action.
can kind of see the water kind of being disturbed a little bit, so you can kind of vaguely trace them.
Yeah, hold my action until I know I can get a good shot, and then fire off.
Cool. Then.
Yeah, I guess just gonna get back a bit and make sure I got enough distance and prepare Eldritch Blast, probably.
Yeah. Cool. Silas.
Oh, I'm just gonna have a panic attack in the corner. I think that was... Oh, that was very disturbing. Yeah, I'm gonna stand back away from the edge and just bonus action cast Shillelagh and wait for them to come up.
She what now?
Shillelagh.
So yeah, you see this green energy, kind of like this kind of vibrant green as compared to the dark green of the vines, kind of wraps up around the quarters there. Garv.
Yeah, I'll bonus action get into my rage, and doing so say, "Blessed Fulmar, your storm is my life, and my life is yours. Fuel my fury, and I will do your bidding." And enter the rage, and then again, just stand near the edge of the water, kind of, and wait until I can see one of these boys to attack.
Cool. Mustela is going to draw his blade and ready as well. As the enemy's got last in the initiative.
Yeah!
So you see as you kind of like wait with bated breath for a moment, and you see as the water begins to break, and you see as two of them kind of like put their hands up and just begin climbing up out. Do your stuff.
Do your stuff.
Am I technically hidden to them?
That's a good point. I guess roll stealth because you would have.
Oh, fuck.
So.
Oh, save.
I think
that's an 18.
Would you not get sneak attack because we're engaged with
Do you want to go
5
initiative?
feet?
I think I'm just double check because I don't know if they're within 5 feet of you. Oh yeah, they're within.
They would be, yeah, but
Oh, then
it
doesn't matter.
also gives you advantage.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So you are hidden from them. They don't see you, and yeah, we'll do this.
Wait, do I just do this
I
at
also
advantage?
have... Yes.
No, so he is he's hidden from them, but yeah,
Nice.
everyone
That was
just tell me
lucky.
your stuff.
Be better.
Okay, I'll roll my damage.
I'm about to kill one of them.
Did you roll a 15 then?
13.
Oh, okay. That would have
Cool.
been weird.
All just go for it.
So it's D10 plus sneak attack, and I got it at I crit. So that's 6, 12, 24, 30, 36, 38 plus 3. That is 41
For
damage.
level 3.
Jesus
Yeah.
fuck.
Fuck
What is going
Rogues!
on?
What the shit,
Yeah,
dude?
that one's dead.
Yeah. It pokes its head out and I just blast it in the brain and take out all the
You
spores.
see as it comes out, you kind of Warren just immediately kind of shoots from his pistol. The brain just explodes and these spores just kind of
Gross.
explode and land.
I got I used my point of inspiration. I got a 21 to hit.
Oh,
That's going to be...
that hits. It was 16 to hit, by the way. That is their AC.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyone who rolled
that's going to be...
and damage
6.
6. Cool.
What did you roll to hit?
Yeah, I hit
18.
with 14 damage.
Cool. 14
Yeah,
damage.
14
boy.
damage as well.
That was a 13
14
and
damage.
it
Oh,
was
so
just bad.
2d8, that will radiant if that affects anything?
It does. Actually, no, it doesn't. Though.
Damn it. So
Oh,
fixed.
as they kind of climb up, out, you see as the first two that come out, just immediately just blasted with attack, just slosh back down into the water.
Like that.
Yeah, kind of like that. The others are now going to climb up, use their actions to dash and climb out. So you see as 5 more begin to kind of climb up out of them
no.
and just kind of gets in the mix with all of you, apart from you for flying. But that's all they can do. As you get closer look, you can see these people kind of wearing different colours. Some seem to be wearing blue, some seem to be wearing green, some seem to be wearing orange, and some seem to be wearing red. As these are different members of various guards of the district.
Try to keep one alive.
Back to the top is River.
Okay, cool.
These things have come out, kind of like spores kind of coming out of them, vines spilling out of various orifices, just kind of like.
Beautiful. The one that I hit, was he still alive?
No, they both.
Oh, they
two
both
that
came out
got
immediately, right?
fucking
Well, I thought so. Okay, cool.
decimated,
I'm just going to
yeah.
pick one at random then, and a nod, and the helmet comes down, and River says, "This one's mine," and I will run up to it, and I'll go again with the rapier, I think.
I know which one I'm aiming for.
Plants versus zombies to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Which one are we?
I think the plants and the zombies.
Yeah,
are now
they're
a
teamed
team.
up.
And
Oh,
now we-
no!
The
We are the
apocalypse
third
all
party.
appeared.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for a regular attack at this point. Yeah, it's a 19, so presumably I hit that. Cool, great. And right now, cool. It's only 4 damage on through. No, wait, there's not. It's 7 damage. Sorry.
7 damage. Cool. Maths. So as you as it kind of like goes up, you can see kind of like a weak point in the armor where a bunch of kind of like plant life has just grown out through the plate mail. And you just stab one up through there. You see this radiant energy kind of glow through, but it is still currently standing. Cool. Up next is Fluoro.
Right, just gonna do the same thing again. Take a shot off. It's still hidden. Oh, I've seen the big loud
the
gun.
shot, the attack with the stuff.
That's not as good. That's a miss, 9 to hit.
Yes, so as you kind of like fire off the second shot, you just kind of off the armor that this person seems to die wearing.
Then I'll leave it for now then and stay away.
Bonus action for anything?
I guess I'll try and hide behind one of these. Oh no, because I need to. No, nothing. I'm good.
Cool.
For now.
Nem.
Hello, I'll try another Eldritch Blast. Fuck, which is a 8.
Misses, unfortunately.
Damn it!
Kind of blast up with them, just kind of like seeing them up close. This kind of waterlogged skin with like plant life growing out of it, kind of freaks you out a bit, and you kind of blast off to the side.
Swamp flashbacks.
Silas.
Oh dear, 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 oh dear. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks to Ninja. I'm just going to reach out my hand, and for a second it's going to look like spike growth, but it's just entangled. So I need all 5 of them I assume they're all in a 20-foot radius of each other?
They are indeed.
Yeah,
Does that only target hostile creatures, or is it all creatures?
That would be all creatures, but I'm going to aim it so that it's so that it's only going to affect them as they're climbing up. So it'd be
They've already climbed up. They're like in the mix with all of you. They use their action to dash to get in combat with all you guys. So yeah, you're all kind of in the same area apart from Clara, who's kind of flying.
Well, in that case, fuck that plan. And instead, I'm just going to try and pop one of them in the face with a shillelagh. Oh, that's better. That's 16.
Yes, that just hits.
Excellent news. And that's just a D8 of damage, or is it?
Yeah, it's a D8 plus your wisdom modifier.
Oh, that's 10 damage to how many were any injured? Had any been hit?
One was bloody, the river hit.
I will hit the one that River hit.
Cool. So as you kind of like come up and kind of smack it on the back of the head, you see it just kind of again an explosion of spores as it just crumples down to the ground.
Yay, teamwork.
Garv.
How many are left?
4.
Okay. Are there any on me right now?
Yeah, there are 2 that have kind of climbed out and gone up to you.
Okay. Gonna zap them both.
What's the radius of
10 feet.
zap? Okay, you can probably get all 4. This is a tight. This is a
Oh, okay. Sweet.
This is a 5-foot wide ledge that they've all kind of climbed up through.
Sweet.
Idiots.
So, first one takes 2. Second one takes 3. Third one takes 4.
Nice.
Fourth one takes another 4.
Cool.
Ooh, that was close. And then, one of the ones that's actually on me, I will swing at them and get a 25 to hit.
No, it's a miss.
That's
Oh.
nice. That's 12, 14, 18 damage on that one.
Dead. You see as you kind of like swing the anchor around, kind of the arc of lightning that follows it kind of goes up and zaps all the others as you kind of
Instead
smash
of
into
killing
one.
it,
Yeah.
can I aim for like its waist and just like take its legs off?
Yeah, so you just take off its leg, kind of drops to the floor, kind of like, kind of still alive by the looks of it.
Okay. Can I just like put my foot on it?
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't say it's like technically pinned,
Okay.
because that would be like a grapple, but it's in place. It's not really going anywhere.
Cool.
The White Walker. from
Up
Game of
next
Thrones.
is Mostella, who is going to use his longsword, because that's, I guess, what he does. He misses. With a 10. Kind of swings it, just whiffs. Up next are the Spore Guard. So they are going to The other one that was next to you, Garv, is going to try and attack you. You see, it's kind of got the vines are kind of wrapped around, and they kind of recess into this kind of like sharp, like spine. That's almost like a spear as it goes to jab for you.
That's going to do their fun things.
Misses. So as it goes to like stab, kind of stumbles forward. You quite easily manage to dodge out of the way.
Cool.
One's going to go for you then, similarly with a spear, which is a hit. With a non-natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
And you take, I believe, oh no, it's only 1d6. You take 5 points of piercing damage.
Can I use Hellish Rebuke?
You can indeed.
Thank you. Oh, fuck, never mind.
I believe you don't have to.
Oh,
roll
wait,
for
no,
it,
it's
so
a dex save,
The
please.
dex save,
So
so-
it's 13 to be.
Their dex is not fails.
Yeah.
So
Amazing!
it takes 2d10 fire damage. I believe.
2d10 fire damage, amazing.
Or it take. What spell level have you got currently? It's 10, isn't it? No, you've got level 2 spells currently, haven't you?
Yes, that's
So
level 2.
it'd take 3d10 fire damage.
Fucking beautiful. So
Oh,
that's
17.
17, please.
Yeah, that one, as it kind of like stabs into you, the flame just kind of like wreaths down your body and just whoosh, engulfs it, and it is dead. You see, as this one doesn't seem to release any spores, as it is killed by fire.
Don't fuck
Fire,
with
use fire.
me. Don't
Yeah,
fuck with me.
The other two, one's going to go for Cyphus,
No,
which
14 to hit.
hits with a 14, like plus 3.
I should have got my shield out.
That's going to be 3 points of piercing damage. And then
Ow.
the last one is going to go for River, which is going to be a hit with an unnatural. Oh, yeah, 21.
Oh, dang. Okay, yeah, that hits.
Yeah, that's going to be
Victims.
2 points of piercing damage.
Oh, no.
As it kind of like, just kind of like catch you on your side with a line of blood.
Okay, cool.
You're up with fire.
Cool. I'm going to swing once with my rapier.
Cool.
I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just swinging with it. That's
Not
a
even
16.
It's
Sorry, yeah, piercing with it. Cool. Cool. So that's the 8 damage, and then
Yes,
with
please.
my offhand attack, I'm going to swing down
It's
with
dead.
it. Oh, it's dead
You
already.
see you kind of cut across it and you see it just burst into spores.
There's no other ones near me, are there?
You could easily get to one. Like I said, this is a small walkway, so you can.
Okay.
quite-
Yeah, I'm going to run up to the nearest one and shank it with my dagger. Just as a little extra.
You're going to do what, sorry?
Shank it with my dagger. Remind me what I don't get with it. I don't get the last one. I just get prof.
No, it's just you don't add your dex onto damage.
Oh, cool. Perfect. Great. Nice. Right. It's a 15, so it doesn't actually hit anyway.
So as you kind of jab through, it kind of gets caught in some of the vines and hits some of the armor underneath.
Is it 15 or 16 to hit?
16.
Yes.
And
Right,
is Faro.
Cool. Holster my pistol, get out my cutlass, go down to one of the ones that hasn't been hurt yet.
There's 2 left. One that Garv has got his boot on, and one that's attacking Cyphus.
Okay. I'm going to assume the Cyphus one. Has that been hit at all, or?
Yeah, it's bloody. Oh, it's not bloody. Sorry, it's been hit.
Okay, I'll give it a. Firstly, just hit it with my cutlass. That's a miss.
So you go to swing, you just hear the of metal as
Yep.
it kind of like.
No, that was
across
me.
it.
Then use my bonus action to see if I can burn it with the torch I'm still holding.
Go for it. Yeah, just make it. I guess that'd be an improvised weapon. So just roll an edge your dex one.
Crit 20.
Fuck!
Nice. You can indeed. So you kind of like place it in there, and again, like the vines up top, it doesn't take right away, but you can see it does do damage. Roll a d4 fire damage for me, and this thing is now set on fire.
Is it,
2.
is it 4 plus 2 because it was a crit?
Oh, it would be, yeah.
6.
6. Yeah. Nice. This thing is just about hanging on. You see as the flames kind of start breathing up it, and they don't take quickly, but you can see it's slowly starting to burn away.
Good.
Essentially what that means it is not going to do regular fire damage for being on fire, or just take a dice lower.
Cool.
Okay. Because they're somewhat resistant to it. Nem. you're up.
Just out of interest, is Hex a bonus action or a main action?
It's a bonus action.
Bonus action.
You can see the 2 that are alive are currently like just hanging on. They're like death.
Yeah, I'm gonna produce flame, which
Right.
is a non-nat 20,
Yeah,
and
nice.
I'm gonna.
Do you do more than 1 damage?
Let's see. Yes, I do. It's a 5.
Yeah, so you see as Faro kind of sticks the torch into this one. You kind of get the idea, and seeing the one that you just killed with flame, you fling this firebolt at it, kind of wreathes up its body, and you see the spores try to like kind of burst, but nothing happens. You're technically out of combat because you've got the other one that's kind of pinned.
Right, as we said earlier, I'm going to pull its arms off.
Oh, really? Nice.
You do so, and the spores it's quite easy to pull their arms off. and it just,
I'm attempting not to kill it.
The spores still burst out of it.
Well, that's I'll sort of like put the torch near the limbs, so like it's kind of burning off some of the spores as they release.
I'll roll a con save for this boy because that's quite bad stuff. Yeah, you managed to go through it, and it's just kind of
Okay, just tie like something around its face, so that it can't like breathe or bite or something like that.
Just around the mouth.
Yeah.
In the flurry of the combat. You didn't really realise. You assumed everyone was kind of like calling out to each other, saying like kind of like shouting out like when one was attacking or saying "Look out!" What you realise is no one's talking, and yet you can hear each other's thoughts.
Oh.
Dude.
I just thought this was normal.
No.
This is the going mad thing. That's right.
Don't think about it, Graver. Don't think about it, Graver. Don't
Yeah.
think about it, Graver.
You just hear. I wish I wasn't so small.
You can command my pocket now.
Oh, he's in there, swords.
Just stabbing through the coat.
If only you knew the men spell.
River, did you say earlier that you could cure diseases?
I did say that, yes. I
Do you
can do
reckon
that.
you could
I could give it a try.
give that a go?
Oh, wait and see if it gets worse first. We might need.
Couldn't we have a check to see if it works now?
Yeah, I can do that.
So we can, if we need it later and suddenly it doesn't work, we're a bit more
Oh,
fucked.
does it matter that I have divine health?
What's that?
It means I am immune to disease and poison.
You still hear.
Okay, cool. I was just
you still hear their thoughts. You can make a medicine
Then that
check.
won't help because we know it's not disease.
Yes.
You can make a medicine check probably if you like.
Yeah, why not? That's
Or anyone proficient in nature can make a nature check as well.
Okay.
Oh,
I am.
Sweet.
hell yes. Why
What the fuck is a
17?
plant?
15.
13.
This.
So you kind of like just thinking about it, and you all hear River think about this. It's
That's
not.
convenient.
It's not a disease. You don't.
Yeah.
You kind of like check yourself over. You're fine. It's just this weird effect. Was it 13 and 15?
15.
With your 15 again, you when you were learning to become a druid, you learnt of various plant lives.
Yeah.
And you know that some plants have this special kind of spore that they use to kind of build rapport with people. That essentially allows them to communicate telepathically with them. This seems to be like a similar kind of effect. That anyone who kind of breathes in can communicate telepathically for a short amount of time.
Ooh, well, I mean, you all heard me thinking about that,
Yeah.
so there you go.
Yeah, you kind of hear the thought process inside.
Now that you're all listening in my head, it's a constant loop of the
I want to shit, I want to shit, I want to shit, I want to shit.
it's Captain Pugwash theme. Just on repeat constantly.
Yeah, I
Just
go
elevator.
put this limbless thing by the shaft, I guess.
We'll take
Like,
it
I'm
away.
facing the wall. He's been bad.
Should we tie his legs together just in case?
He has no.
Yeah,
legs.
we've taken
I
them off.
smashed them off.
Oh, nice.
He's a torso.
He's a torso and a head. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Just as I wanted, honestly. That went better than I was expecting.
Is I can think it. Is anyone in need of healing or health or help?
Oh, not touched.
I wouldn't mind if you didn't. I need
How much
5 healths, please.
Yeah. Take 5.
Take
I lay
5.
my hand on your shoulder on this.
With his catchphrase. Yeah, take 5.
Can you, can you only do it a certain number of times, or is it
I've got about 2 times what I just gave left.
any chance you could get 3 of those?
Yeah, go on then.
Thank you.
You were too far away.
What the fuck are they talking
About 3 and 5.
Oh no. Oh no, but I don't like it. I don't like any of this.
Well, it scratched me with 3 fingers, or 3 pokey
Oh.
bits, so it was like 3
Close, my darling.
claws. That's it.
Yes.
Oh.
Scratchy fingers. Scratchy fingers.
Well,
I always wonder why when I said
Also, what I'll do is with the rope or whatever I use to like tie up his mouth, I'll put one of the like heavy buoys, just attach it to it somehow,
Nice.
just in case.
Yeah.
so he can't leave.
Nice.
Um,
It's very well and truly.
You're not going anywhere.
I don't think anything's ever been more immobilized than this spore guard.
I seal him in concrete up to the neck that I have with me.
Earthbind.
Magically he's the David Blaine of
No!
Later on in the dungeon, he'll just be behind us, like, aha!
He'll just walk out from a cabinet.
He'll walk out and in his mouth will be a playing card, like, oh my god, that was my card.
From 10 years ago.
He tries to do a bow, but
Just falls flat on his face.
We have fun here. Like, on our way,
So,
we're going to find a way across.
We're going across. I mean, I can swim across, so I'm not so
I'll
worried
fly.
about this thing.
I'm.
Garv, how is your swimming?
Yeah, it's pretty
Alex?
good.
Yes.
I'll
Yes,
follow
come.
Cythus.
Yeah.
Just a bit of a cheeky breaststroke.
yeah, it's fairly easy to
Stay
to
away
get
from
across
my
the-
breasts.
now
You keep your clothes on, sir.
You've seen what he does. Now with the threat of this room kind of quelled, it's easy enough for you guys to get across. You can quite easily pull yourself across on the rope that's there, and you get to a set of stairs that lead up about 5 feet, and then turn to the left, and then go up by about another 10 to 20 feet into a bigger kind of clearing. What's your marching order currently?
I am always next to Garv.
I'll go first.
I'm right behind
I'll
Gar.
probably take up the back.
Cool.
I'll be right behind Faro.
I'll go with him.
Cool. And Marcella will go between the two kind of groups.
I tame, I get to go next to him.
As you kind of come on up into this room, you can see it's kind of open, carries on kind of northward where you're going, then turns off to the east. There's a bit of a cubby off to the right hand side. What you can see is kind of again the plant life kind of like crawling across the wall, kind of moving and undulating in a way. You can see kind of what looks to be rips of cloth kind of scattered around it. It seems to be like remains of bed rolls that used to be down here, and again a few crates in the corner, and then it kind of like curves on off round to the left. You continue kind of
What's in the crates?
you make an investigation check for that.
That's not too bad. 19.
19. So as you are going through, you kind of are almost like ripping apart this kind of thick fungus. You don't really find anything in the crates apart from mouldy food. What you do find kind of wrapped up in one of the bedrolls seems to be quite a nice, by design kind of dagger. Doesn't seem to have doesn't seem to be like lighter or better than any kind of normal dagger, but it seems to be quite a nice, like almost art piece. This is worth 100 gold.
Whack that in my back
Oh,
pocket.
yes.
I wanted a dagger.
Was
that-
that one to get you off a
was
more
that in that
sheep,
cubby
and then we make a profit.
Yeah, that was like in this kind of, it's about like a 15-foot wide kind of like recessed portion. There seem people maybe used to sleep down here, maybe homeless people, but it seems to be long
Yeah,
gone.
to you, it's a dagger. It's a long sword. To
For me, it's a letter opener.
yeah.
Like 2 nails with it. So you're just carrying on around.
Yeah. Should we be quiet, stealthy?
Yeah, why not? Good idea. Stealth. Nope.
It's not
Oh, it's not anymore.
Well, cool for me. It's not fantastic.
It's 7.
7,
8.
8, 12.
17.
12.
Cool. You're being alright, you two are kind of like just kind of having a bit of banter back and forth. And kind of being a bit loud.
Again, I'm loudly saying to myself, don't think about anything. Come on.
As you kind of come
Your
around,
brain is unvaulted, it's being cracked.
you kind of come around the corner with Garv at the front. As your foot kind of goes down, you hear a as something like snaps and stone recesses into the floor, and you begin to hear
Fuck.
but you begin to hear like these darts being fired, and as you kind of look to the walls, you can see where the plants have grown over it. These darts begin to just like poke through and then just drop to the floor as the trap seems to be useless in its current state.
See, this is why
Handy.
plants are good.
Handy.
Alright. Very carefully going forward now. Just like, before I take any step, my like foot is like...
Can I see any similar looking stones to the one that has just been...
Yeah.
pressed?
Anyone who's looking for traps on the way, I'll say 2 of you can give me a perception check, or 1 person can give it an advantage.
Ooh,
Can I
I'm
do
I
it?
have, I'm quite good at it.
My
Oh, you're very
rank-
good at it.
oh,
Never mind, you're very good.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn good. That's
also
yeah, 24.
24, yeah, so you'll kind of just, I'll bear that in mind as just like as you'll go moving forward looking for traps.
I fly across without a care in the world.
Yeah, you can quite easily, now the trap seems to also be deactivated as well, it seems to be a one-time thing.
The darts.
Yes.
Kind of trying to pick one up.
Yeah, they seem to just be kind of like standard, kind of almost like shards of, like very crudely made kind of shards of metal almost.
Does it appear there's any kind of poison on there?
That doesn't look like it. It seems to be completely clean. this then kind of turns around and towards the north, and what you see before you is a long corridor, probably about 100 feet long. Again, vines kind of across the entirety of it, floor, walls, and ceiling. You can see on the left-hand side, in kind of intervals, there seems to be a 5-foot wide opening that leads into a cavern. About 20 feet down from that seems to be a 2-foot wide opening leading into the same direction. And about 20 feet down from that seems to be another 2-foot wide opening leading into a cavern. And then 30 feet down from that seems to be another opening with some light kind of pouring out of it at the very end, about 100 feet away. On the right-hand side, about halfway down the corridor, there seems to be, again, a kind of like an archway that leads off into a side corridor. Apart from that, this corridor seems to be empty. Again, you see kind of spores kind of just generally hanging in the air here and there. So yeah, there's 4 ways on the left and 1 way on the right. Cool.
I think we just go slowly, take each bit by bit.
So we go to the one that's lit up first.
That's all the way at the end.
Then we can work our way back.
I definitely won't fit in those small ones.
Just easier to have a look in there. That's the one where there might be something in the note. If there's light there, we don't want them to hear us elsewhere and come looking. If we go there first, we'll be able to surprise who's ever in there.
Makes some sense.
I think I agree.
I will go with the group because that made no sense to me at all.
Right, yeah, off to the lit up door.
Okay, yeah, so as you kind of get down the corridor, Cyphus, what you notice kind of about 60 feet down this corridor, there's a portion of the plants that seems to be a bit more recessed than the rest, and you kind of pick that out as probably being a pitfall or something like that.
I wouldn't tread on this bit if I were you. If anyone, somebody throw Mistella over it.
No.
How big is this kind of pitfall trap?
10 feet. 10 feet by 10 feet. It seems to be the width of the corridor and then about 10 feet long.
Oh, that's quite
Oh my gosh.
that's quite a jump.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I think we explore the bits on the left first, and then when we get to the lit up bit, I feel like that might be an exit of some
So
sort.
this trap is past the 1 way on the right and 2 of the ways on the left.
I think we just have a look.
Let's find your way to it then. I go forward and poke my head into the lit up one just to see what's in there.
Cool. So if you can just give me a separate stealth roll as you're breaking down the group.
That's much better. That's a 21.
Cool. So as you kind of like go around into this kind of like lit room, you can see it's a bit more well kept than the rest. It doesn't seem that there's many plants in here. There's still some kind of growing over along the walls and kind of moving. You can see kind of 3 ruined long tables in this what appears to be like a almost like a hall, like a mess hall almost. You can see off to the eastern side, there's like some stairs that lead up to this kind of chair, where maybe like a lord or maybe someone taking guests would have kind of sat. Appears to be empty, kind of dark. You can only kind of see by a torchlight, and it just seems to be kind of ruined tables and chairs kind of toppled over. This room seems to have been tossed.
Can I see anyone sort of in here or like anything of note in the room?
Mick, if you're just looking around the room, just give me a perception check. And then you can further if you want.
Perception, that's 5.
5. No, you don't seem to see anyone in this room. There seems to be another like 2-foot wide kind of crack in the wall to the south that leads kind of into this kind of cavern. Apart from that, you don't. At a first glance, you don't see anything in here.
Fire that to the group. No, just it's a dining hall, but very well maintained. So I reckon there's someone else down here, but they're not in there that I can see.
Okay.
So be on guard.
Who's guard?
Never mind.
Right.
Right, where are we going
You
then?
climb on guard.
I'll pop in that 5-foot wide first hole thing.
Cool. So you kind of as you kind of like follow it around, it kind of breaks off into a room. As you kind of glance in, you can see it's kind of overgrown with lots of like mushrooms and seems to have a fairly kind of low ceiling. And as you kind of follow that bit that doesn't break off, it comes over to the balcony that looks over the room with the raft.
Hey!
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Can I see the boy in the well shaft?
No, you can't. You can't. It's not quite at the right angle.
So I shout like, don't move.
Hearing that back in the previous corridor, like,
Go
I see
back in.
something.
Oh no, don't worry. I was talking to Offin.
Oh, you're fine.
Did you go down that on your own, or did we?
Apparently so.
Okay.
Like it's just that balcony.
I mean, I was going to follow you anyway. I was just going to ask if I could collect a couple of those mushrooms.
Yeah, so it's in a bigger chamber, so you'd have to go through into there. But as you kind of walk through, it seems to be. You can't tell how big this room is. The ceiling's at about 9 foot here. So if you were to follow in, you'd kind of be hunched over a bit. And yeah, there are just mushrooms kind of blossoming and blooming. They're kind of beautiful in a strange kind of way. With spores kind of hanging in the air. You can't see any other exits out of this room through the sheer density of the
Are there
foliage
any
in here.
really like small mushrooms on the floor?
Yeah, there are a few small ones.
I'll just take a couple of the smaller ones and put them in my bag. Just
You pick a couple, handful of them. You've got some mushrooms.
got a couple of mushrooms. I'm going to give those to Fader.
Okay, check out one of the ones on the left. The third one, the second one before the trap.
Yep, so as you kind of go and kind of like squeezing through, and you have to squeeze because it's like
Big on
it's like 2 foot wide. Yeah. You go through, it comes to a kind of intersection, one that leads to the north and one that leads to the west. Again, you can see kind of like various plant life and kind of bugs kind of crawling around in here.
Okay. There's 2 ways you can go in here. Well, you can hear that from my thoughts, but
I potter on in after him.
Yep.
Sorry.
not fair.
So, same thing.
I heard you think it though.
I know.
One each?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Stealthily?
Of course. I'll take the left.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you need to re-stealth? Yeah.
Yeah, yourself.
Well, perfect.
23?
19.
22.
Cool. So as you go off to the north, it leads to another intersection that leads to the east and the west. And if you were to look to the east, you can see it just rejoins the corridor that you were just in, but past the trap.
Oh, so the third one.
And as you go off to the left, there is another intersection that leads to the north and the south.
Okay. There's another one. Another intersection.
Okay, I'm struggling to draw this, so it'll be draw.
I'll go left
And
again.
are you three just in the...
I can't fit, so
I would
yeah.
have come back to the initial corridor and then started following through. If you're saying that there's another path, I'll come through and then.
Cool. I'll go left, you go right.
Cool.
Fine.
Okay.
And I'll go west, I guess, because that's the way that we haven't checked yet.
Okay. So is,
Stealth check.
what were you going... Sorry, who was going where?
So,
You were going left and you were going right?
Yeah.
Out of that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so give me a stealth check.
yeah, pretty good. 16.
16? Yeah, not bad. So as you kind of... as you go north and as River goes east, you two meet up. As these two are joined.
That makes sense. Okay.
And also,
that's going well.
as this seems to be like a T-junction here, so Cyphus is coming from the bottom.
Yep.
River is coming from the right.
Yep.
And there's a path to the left and the north. The north seems to open into a large kind of mess hall-like chamber. You'd recognise as the one that Fuaro described.
Dreamy.
And Fuaro, as you went to the left there, it opens up into the large room with all of the giant kind of mushrooms, which is a different portion of it.
Nice.
What are you two doing? What's going on?
Are there any left unexplored?
There's the one on the right, I believe.
Not at the moment. There's the ones that you guys up near, just going to the left, but that's about it at the minute. There's also just the mushroom room that you're not sure how big it is.
What about the room on the right of the corridor?
Yeah, you guys can check that out if you wanted.
I was just thinking about sending my raven into one of them and having a little look. Could I send my raven into the mushroom room and sort of just like make it do like a bit of a perimeter check, see how big it is?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so
Avian adventure.
make a survival check for me.
I will.
Oh, I will.
It's a 9.
Okay, so it takes the raven a while, like a couple of minutes, to kind of get through because it's quite dense. It's quite hard to kind of navigate around. But it gets a general feel for the layout of the room. Sure, because that'll just be...
General
Can
feel.
you slay me sloth?
Slay.
Thanks, my dude. You're the best.
I try really, really hard.
Good.
Thanks.
So you should.
Thank you. I have a map.
He stands.
So-
Come at me.
There you go. That's like the general layout of the mushroom room. This is the one that Fuaro came down to enter, and this is the one that Garv originally came through and Cyphus did.
Okay.
And you know that there's now 3 more exits to that room.
Okay.
cool.
Should we convene in the mushroom room?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Convene in the mushroom.
I'll think that really hard.
Oh, don't be so loud!
And then do you think that you all quality here for going here? Mushroom? Like,
I wrote that.
yeah, okay.
We all got that.
Nice.
Okay.
Right, so there's 3.
What I would say is I think we all need to be very, very careful in here. Because those, like, the spores that we've got that are helping us all talk to each other in our heads, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But not all spores are friendly.
Also, what we haven't thought about is someone else listening in.
Well, quite probably, but they're
Someone
probably being
else.
quite quiet about it.
Someone else down
Someone
here.
else up here in the head.
They might
If
already
that was
know.
the case, wouldn't we be able to hear them think?
Maybe they're very good at.
Brain training.
Aye.
But like, they would at least have
Okay.
thought
They
like
know Dr. Kawashima, they do.
they would have at least thought like, oh, there's someone else here.
Maybe, yeah. But again, like, maybe they know how to hide it.
We didn't hear the plant thoughts as well.
We didn't, no.
Creepy.
No. I don't think they
Grass
think.
things. Oh, they must think on some level.
Possibly. I don't know.
Otherwise, like, they wouldn't do anything.
Does a boat think?
No,
Does things.
but it doesn't do things on its own.
Yeah. There are things that do.
Like what?
Plants do. These plants here, they do. These photosynthesize and whatever.
I'd say that's like arguably thought.
But perhaps someone
Okay, well,
was,
those things are also plants.
perhaps someone was controlling the creatures.
If you can speak with plants, they can think surely. And as we know from our friend here, you can speak with plants.
We've
I
never
will be
actually
able
seen
to
them speak
eventually-
to
I will
plants
be
yet.
able to properly eventually. Just like having a chat with
You're just like shouting at them. You don't talk back.
What do
Tell
you
me your
know?
secrets!
I feel like I'm being mocked for my beliefs.
I was
Just being
on
mocked.
your side there.
Did you also, one of you say you're going to the room on the right as well?
No, we
That
decided
was-
against that.
Okay.
We're now just meeting in the mushroom room. Oh, did you?
Oh, I was going to say, I
Oh,
thought
no,
that was number.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to put to.
I was going to, but then we found there was more exits in this mushroom room.
Got it, yeah.
Where do we want to go?
I just
Two
like.
in each
No,
entrance?
I think we should stick together.
I think my,
Okay.
my raven can go down any of the corridors.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Which one would you like to try first?
One straight on from where we've all come in.
Middle.
So
Would I be able to work out which corridor seems to not lead to anything that we've already been through?
That way up, just for that's not my reference.
That way.
No.
That way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's what it is on
the
mine.
one on the left.
The western path.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one
West.
probably doesn't lead to anything that we've already seen.
No.
I think.
New place.
Okay. So as you
You send your raven down there, please.
as Raven flies into there, is it trying to be stealthy?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll stealth and add Raven's stealth.
It's not good.
I don't know what Raven's stealth is. Also, it's a 3, so it's not very good.
So it kind of goes through,
Oh, sorry, that was me.
it comes into a rectangular room that seems to have a broken kind of a kind of a what appears to be once an altar on the eastern wall. You can see it's kind of like almost like a dais that's kind of been crumbled, almost beyond recognition. Like you can't see what this was an altar to once, whether it was a god, some other kind of being. It's just completely rubble and covered with plants.
Okay.
You can see a few kind of trinkets kind of resting about the altar, kind of like a few bodies kind of here and there. You can see in the walls there are people with plants kind of growing over them, and they're just kind of and as they exhale, you see these spores kind of drift out of their mouth. There's a 2-foot wide passageway to the north. Apart from that, this room seems to be fairly empty. But
Can we hear the raven's thoughts?
no,
It's
you don't hear the raven's thoughts. You hear something else.
Oh,
You
okay.
hear in your head, I was wondering when you'd get to me.
Frodo back.
Maybe you'll join my new plant life.
I've always been more of a sea creature.
What you baying?
An eternity of life under my servitude and his servitude.
Who's he?
You'll see.
Flora is very on edge because this is usually where he'd shoot the person talking and he doesn't know what to shoot.
Yeah.
Mushroom!
Tell me what you know.
Your raven is quaint.
it's coming back.
So it kind of poops back, lands and comes to your shoulder.
Right, so,
What's your name?
I have no
That's quite upsetting. I'm going to call you Boris.
like this, Boris.
how about Doris?
Perfect.
Okay, now I'm liking the idea of servitude to this guy. He seems like a laugh.
Alright, Doris, we're not coming to kill you.
In your head, you're thinking,
We're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill him so
Fuck this
hard.
guy.
Yeah, and that's like nothing is a
I
turn
know
on.
that to be a lie. Garvin Serious.
Oh. Alright. Well then, you know what I've done. And you should be quite afraid, I think.
I would if I didn't already know what I was going to do. All of you make dex saves for me as you see the plant and vines begin to kind of curl up around your
Can I see this?
Oh no!
Advantage because I fly. Yes, yeah.
Wait, what was it again?
That's
Sorry.
Dex save.
Dex.
17.
Must that actually pass it? So do you.
15.
Pass.
16.
Pass.
11.
13.
13. Just passes.
Oh, right then.
So Nem, you see as these kind of vines, everyone else kind of manages to like step out of the way. You kind of begin hovering a little bit. This room being only 9 foot high, it's kind of hard to fully fly in, but you can get a few inches off the ground, or a few feet off the ground. You, Nem, as the vines are like wrap up kind of around your legs and kind of around your torso almost, you are grappled and restrained in place, and you can use an action on your go to try and break free from the vines, or someone can try to break her free. With that, you hear movement from the other room as you hear like a heavy clattering of armor, something like hits the ground, and you can kind of see as the mushrooms begin to part. As they part, you all get a direct view into that room with kind of like the ruined altar, and you can see unseeable to your raven as it kind of blended in with the plants. You see standing up from almost like a seat of plants in the altar, this tall being kind of strange in texture. You see kind of like plant and like mushroom life kind of growing around it. You can see the strange kind of like head that grows out into like a large mushroom. It stands tall at about a good 7 to 8 feet as it begins to like just stride towards you. With each step, spores just like walking, kind of like evaporating off of it.
Stupid raven.
And we'll roll Initiado for me.
Initiado.
That'll be the hint.
Fuck off, man.
Oh, no.
Now I've got to find a page or two here. I thought you went right to the
big
right
boss.
to the boss room of the dungeon right away.
Oh god.
How about that? I mean, at least you didn't get whittled down by all the other enemies in this dungeon.
Oh, they're still to come.
Did we go into that room with the light?
No.
Didn't go in. We just
No.
walked
No,
in.
because that's where the big boss is going to be. Into it, yeah.
Oh no, this.
Yeah, the big
Is
boss.
that where we are?
No.
No, we're.
We're
That is what you would call a
Where-
red
That's
herring.
what I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Head down.
That's what I mean.
This pathway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that boy,
Don't like it.
and then that.
I've had
It
enough
is-
of D&D
it
plants.
is really
Even before we
gross.
started this.
This
honestly.
is all far too
It's
reminiscent of those like planty zombies on the Last of
Last
Us.
of
I
Us.
do not like it.
Foro.
No.
That was part of my inspiration from.
Yay!
Nice.
14.
Ah,
14. You're going at the same time as Miss Stella.
Hey. Me and you must
21!
Nice. River.
12.
12 for River.
Non-nat 20.
20 for Scythus, and then
DOS.
2. What's your dex model?
Oh.
What is it indeed? It is.
Plus
It
one.
is. Plus one. Thanks, Callum.
Okay,
Yes.
roll a d20 for me. There's a plus one as well.
It's a roll off.
Oh, they win.
18.
Yeah.
Oh,
So they'll be going
It's a
before
walk-off.
you.
so fun.
Dan, we were going to take a break at 7. It's now 7.
Guards closed.
Yeah, as you guys see, kind of like standing up from this throne of thorns almost, this creature, is kind of like almost regal looking creature. You see it kind of peeling from around the corners. You see very similar to the spore guard that you had fought kind of in one of the rooms previous, but much more heavily armored. You can see kind of more plants kind of wreathing through them, and you can see one of their arms just grows down into a plant like almost crossbow shape, and the other side seems to grow down into this kind of a curved kind of sword of one kind. the one on the left. The one on the right seems to have its arms almost melded together forward into a greatsword that kind of is also covered and wreathed in plants. They come round. As they all walk towards you, that is a good point for the break because we're about to start combat.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. We'll see you then. Comment in chat, we'll still probably be hanging around. We'll catch you in a little bit. We love you all and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Oh, I should probably do the thing where like we go AFK.
Yeah,
You guys are currently in the den of the Spawn King.
That is
See you
Okay.
soon, guys.
Yeah, we're back. How about that, eh? Thanks for sticking around. We're going to dive right back into action here. So, you guys have been investigating, trying to find a job to get some gold. You managed to find yourselves in the direction of entrepreneur Philareth, a Springer Ladrin who runs the Escapades into Bliss in the city of Priangos. He has told you about some rather bad behaving plants that have been driving the common folk a little bit mad as they can kind of hear each other's voices and thoughts and that kind of stuff. You've delved into this well, fought some strange kind of like spore and plant infested people, and made your way straight onto a little mushroom grotto with a throne of thorns where a voice resonated into your mind telling you to join it and basically live forever inside its walls as part of the plant life. We've rolled initiative, so you see this kind of figure kind of about, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, about 30 feet away from you, flanked by these two other kind of Spore Knights. Up first is Garv.
Right. Blessed Fulmar, empower my rage, make through my strikes, allow me to smite my enemies in your name. And I enter Rage for the second time today. It's the first time I've used all my rage points. So it's just the one guy we can see at present.
No, you can see the two others. He's flanked by two. They're like the Spore Guard.
Yeah.
But they can be more heavily armored. One has like a crossbow and like a scimitar to one side, and the other one's hands are like fused together that extend out into like a great sword that's covered in plant.
Oh, nasty! I'll go up to him. How far away is he from me?
30 feet. They're stood like they're flanking the main dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is he in line with them, or is he?
He's like 5 feet back. So
okay.
It's like a little V almost.
Yeah, I'll go up to Hans McGee, I guess, and I've used my bonus, so yeah, I'll just go up and smack him up some. I suppose that's not fantastic. It's only a 13.
That misses. So as you kind of like bring the ankle round, it kind of clangs against the armour, and some of the vines kind of slowing the strike, and it doesn't make it through, unfortunately.
Right.
Up next is Scythus.
Oh, hello. I should have got my spells ready before we started the stream. I think I know what I'm doing. I just need to check if this is a concentration or not. Sorry everyone for not knowing what to do.
Just do Rictum Semper.
Yeah, true. I'll do that.
I'm loving that.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Rictum Semper!
It is not concentration. Amazing news. Right. As an action, I'm going to reach out my hand again, and there's going to be a bit of purple energy flowing through. Comes out of McGill's, and it's going to cast Entangle behind the big boss dude, so that the 20-foot radius just hits the big boss and the two minions rather than hitting Garv.
What's the save on that?
That is a strength saving throw against 14.
Okay, one of the knights passes, the one with the crossbow on the hand, the one with the great sword fails. You see as the vines kind of go to wrap around this plant-like being, it almost like just phases through with no effect, as it is also has some command over plants itself.
Oh.
But you can see
Wait, so all of them aren't affected, or just
the guy away from the throne. The guy with the great sword is entangled. The guy with the crossbow passed the save.
Cool.
Okay, well that guy is restrained. Yes, restrained. Excellent.
the more spells he casts, the higher the pitch.
And then I am going to run up and join Garv.
Cool.
And as I am running, I'm going to bonus action. I do have this page prepared. And this time there's more of a sort of light blue greenish energy, and my shape is going to change as I'm running forwards to something that runs on all fours, and I'm just now a rather large brown bear.
Nice. So as you kind of run forward, you kind of turn into this large kind of bear. Still looks kind of almost aquatic in theme, but you get the form. You get accurate enough.
So
Skills.
I read a book.
Sea bear.
It still just has like a fin on the back for some reason.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, he can.
Yeah,
Cool.
Bear shark.
a furless bear.
That's
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
Have you seen that picture?
yeah,
It's
everyone's
awful.
seen
Is it
that
first
bitch.
Chewbacca?
Up next is the
It's just a man.
sovereign.
Oh.
The sovereign is just going to phase through the entanglement, and is going to walk on up to the new bear form that appears to be there.
I would like it not
You see
to.
as it kind of like raises its hand, and some mushrooms begin to grow, and it just and these spores just permeate out onto you. Can you make a Constitution saving throw with the bear's statistics?
That's pretty good. This is why you use the dice tray, Callum. Crit fail.
So you kind of like just breathe it in. You kind of sniff, kind of like look around, kind of look in the immediate vicinity.
Oh shit.
The sovereign is gone. The two people with the greatsword is gone. You kind of look around, and the sovereign's going to try and take a hit at you at advantage.
Oh,
What's the AC of the bear?
11.
That is still a miss for the 10.
Yes.
It goes to swing. Garv, you see it kind of swing, but still kind of miss, swiping over it. As you kind of look to your right, you just see the sovereign just stood right next to you, almost like bigger than it was, kind of now wielding a weapon. And
How do you say "oh shit" in bear? Because I do that.
Yes, you are currently hallucinating.
Yeah, true.
Up next is Faro Mastella.
Cool. I'm going to use my main action to help Nim out of being stuck in vines.
Cool. Go ahead and make a athletics check for
Okay.
me, please. I need to roll.
Athletics.
So, instead of that, can I just give her advantage on her turn? Because I'm
Yes,
helping.
you can essentially do the help action. and
Yeah,
try
cool.
and-
I will do the help action. And that's all I can do.
Thank you.
Cool. And then Mastella is going
That's
to
there.
bring out his hand and is going to cast Chromatic Orb towards the restrained guy, which is...
What, Nim?
Yes, on them. He hits, so that's going to be a D10 of damage. Nice.
Stella's turn.
Why?
You see as it kind of hits the entangled kind of greatsword wielder and kind of like burns up it, and again the flames don't stick, but it definitely takes some damage. It kind of rides in place. Up next is River.
24
days. I would like to cast Bane on 3 of them, as I can see them all.
Nice.
So they need to make a charisma save, please.
Okay, so Sovereign fails.
I imagine mushrooms aren't very
DC 13, if you didn't know.
The
I don't know.
Knight.
I never liked him personally.
Oh, they've got different stats than the ones they've got there.
He didn't
Fails.
win me over with his speech.
They all fail because the knights in their Myconid form have a charisma of -5.
I didn't think they were really
Wow.
nice.
Oh, maybe.
So they must now subtract 1d4 from all attacking rolls and saving throws
Got
for
ya.
the next 10 rounds of combat.
Good spell.
Nice.
bitch.
Yes, concentration in there.
Yes, so I can.
Cool.
If I take more than half my health down.
No, it's just that if you take damage, you make a save essentially.
Oh, cool. Okay, you do that.
Okay,
That's
so-
fine.
Yep. Anything else?
I'm gonna hold back on doing my like D8 of damage for a while.
Okay, so you kind of like hold back, kind of still stood back there, kind of like the mushroom grotto. Up next are the knights. So the one who is restrained is with entangle. Is it a save at the end of their go?
Callum.
It is.
Or is it like an action to break free? because their ability may be slightly different to the sovereigns.
Entangle. A creature restrained by the plants can use its action to make a strength check against your spell save DC. On a success, it frees itself. So yeah, it's
That's
an
going to
action.
attempt to free itself. What was the
It's
DC?
14.
It's also minus a d4 on this.
Oh, it is. Thank you. Minus 2, so that's only plus 1, 14. So usually 30 plus 3. Those are so you see as it kind of moves, kind of like breaking the plants away, but that's its go. The other one is going to raise the crossbow and fire it towards Nem, being that she is still restrained. That is, yeah, that's gonna.
I'm pretending I'm in the office when I do
Natural
this.
18. So
Did you
that's
subtract a
good.
d4 from it?
And then, yes, I need to. So that's going to be, minus 4 as well, so that is a 15, which still hits. 12. So that's going to be 7 points of piercing damage. It just kind of raises it, and you see as this bolt kind of, like thorny bolt, just kind of like fire out and just jab into Nem's shoulder.
Ow!
That's them. Up next is Nem.
I'm cooler. I'm going to try and break free. Do I have
You've got advantage because I'm helping you out.
So it's a strength check with advantage because Far is helping you.
Strength check with advantage.
Oh, pretty
Is
good. Pretty good.
16.
It's a 16.
Yep, so you kind of, with Waro kind of there, kind of like cutting away with the cutlass and kind of helping pull you out, you are now free from the restraint.
Woohoo!
Here you go.
Was that a bonus action or an action?
That's an action.
So can I prep Hex, please?
Yeah, so who do you want to cast Hex on? Because only a bonus for Hex.
Who's close to me?
No one's close to you. That currently by Garv and Cyphers' bear form is the Sovereign and the 2 knights.
I'll go for the Sovereign, I guess.
Cool, so as you kind of like point at him, you see as the shadows kind of cling to the Sovereign a bit more, as you now do extra damage to him, and he also has disadvantage on checks of your choice, so you can choose Strength, Dex, Con, Wiz, or Charisma for him to have this on.
Ooh. What do you reckon, guys?
Say again.
I'll say it's so you can choose. She can choose for him to have disadvantage on ability checks with a certain ability, not saving throws, just checks.
Just checks.
If we're gonna entangle them and stuff.
That's only saved. Not saved.
Perception, so wisdom.
Yeah.
Cool. So he's got disadvantage on wisdom checks.
Cool.
Cool. Is that you or do you want to move anywhere?
No, I think I'm fine.
Cool. Back to the top is Garv.
Right. 3 of them are all going to take some damage. Sword guy takes 4.
Cool.
Big boy takes 2. And Crossbow McGee, is he still within
Yes, he is.
10 feet? Yeah, 1 on Crossbow McGee.
Cool.
And then, none of them are restrained currently, are they?
No.
Has the guy moved up to me, the Sovereign? Or within like combat range?
You could basically rotate around without getting any attacks opportunity to get at him.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do that then. And have at him. Fuck's sake. 12.
12 that just misses.
Fuck's
You
sake.
just kind of swing, kind of like chips a part of the mushroom, kind of part off of his head, but it doesn't seem to have any like a substantial hit to him.
Was
Dang.
that Sovereign or was that Swordboy?
Sovereign.
Up next is Cyphus. You see as the Sovereign kind of moves around you and just attacks Garv out of nowhere. I'd like you to make your bear attacks, all of which are against Garv, as you are currently seeing him as the Sovereign, as you're hallucinating.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's good times.
So that's. I need to.
Fucking scary.
Good job, druids aren't really OP
Yep,
and terrifying.
this is true. Right, so the bite is 10 to hit,
That misses.
and the claws 12 to hit.
Also misses.
Excellent miss.
So you see as the bear kind of like with this strange kind of look in its face, kind of rears up, goes for the swing on you. You quite easily manage to deflect it. Can you make a con save at the end of your go again, just to see if you can shake it off?
12.
That's what you need. So you kind of shake your head, kind of exhale some of the spores, like sneeze a little, and then you see that you've just kind of like finished attacking Garv, and you're a bit confused, and you kind of see.
I will look as apologetic as I can as a bear.
Scythe has snapped out of confusion.
Yes, you did.
That's good.
Cool, that's you. Next is the Sovereign again. Seeing this and seeing you as being a bit of a problem, Garv, you see as it raises its other hand and some petals kind of grow out of its hand and it blows them in your face. Can you make a con save for me, please?
Yes.
That's really cute, though.
Con save, 14.
You pass. So you feel like the body almost like seize up, but you manage to kind of shake it off through your just hearty barbarian nature.
Hearty bum.
It is then going to... What was the other ability I gave it?
There's one thing I love about Garth is his high bar.
It's then going to
Try always follow me.
It's going to punch you, Garv.
Fuck you.
Misses.
Just
It worked.
It connects, but it just... Pretty much.
Just this magical, like, I will curse you with petals. That didn't work. Fuck you.
More or less.
Yeah.
Cool. That's the Sovereign's go. Foire and Mastella.
Cool. I'm gonna fly over to the Knights with the crossbow. Is anyone on him?
We're kind of in a cluster.
Yeah, they're kind of in a cluster, so yeah.
Okay, gonna fly up to him. I'm gonna give him a stab with my cutlass.
Cutlass.
That's 15 to hit.
15. That just misses.
Oh.
You kind of go by. It seems they're armoured in a similar way to the others and kind of like scrapes across their front.
How far did I move to get to him?
It would have been 30.
Okay, they'll move 20 feet away.
Cool. He'll get an attack opportunity.
No, he won't.
Oh, yeah.
You're back.
I need to remember. I'm gonna learn this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Don't worry.
Yeah. Cool.
Is it just if you hit with an attack?
If I attack.
Oh, damn. That is so
same
good.
as college.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Mastella's going to do another chromatic orb towards the greatsword guy and see if get damaged. What's his plus the spells? Plus 6, so he hits. It's going to be 2 damage. Nice job, Mastella.
I'm helping.
River.
Okay, is the one on the left still entangled?
No, it broke free.
Okay, cool. In that case, yeah, I'm gonna. Wait, it's the one with crossbow and one with the longsword, right?
Yeah, there's one with a crossbow and a scimitar and one with a greatsword.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna pick greatsword guy.
Yep.
And cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Cool.
Which means every weapon attack I make is
They would also drop as well. As they're both concentration.
Are they? Oh, that's not a good idea.
They are indeed.
No, let's keep Bane up. That's more useful. All right, fine. I'm still in that case. I'm just going to run up to it and double weapon attack. I think.
Nice, go for it. So you charge on through, kind of brushing some of the mushroom and spores out of the way.
Yeah, cool. I'm just going to roll both at the same time. If that's all right. Rapier is not great. Cool, great. I hit one with a 22, but that was the one that said for my offhand attack. So
Cool.
It's a 13 and a 22.
Yeah, 30 misses, 22 hits.
Okay, cool, great. It's not going to be particularly exciting, I'm afraid. Sorry, boys.
I'm excited.
Boring.
Damage,
A whole 7.
That's still pretty
That was more exciting than I thought it'd be.
Good
Yeah.
effort.
Thanks.
Still
You
have
go up
plus
to-
3 dex.
You
Well
still have
done.
blind
Is
smite to your
that
offhand
with
attack.
claws?
I don't want to waste my last spell slot yet.
Oh, right. Is that with your claws?
Uh,
Offhand attack, or is that?
I was using dagger for now.
Yeah, so you just kind of like pull out the dagger, kind of like rake it across. You see loads of the vines kind of like get severed, but it's still standing quite heartily. Speaking of which, up next to the knights. So, the one with the greatsword is just gonna. Actually, we'll do the scimitar one first. So the one with the scimitar is gonna attack you twice, River.
Mhm.
That's
Sorry,
minus a d4 as well. The one that misses regardless, and then that's a 1, so 13 plus 3, 16 misses. So it goes to swing twice with its scimitar, but you quite easily manage just to shimmy out of the way, much like you did there.
It was that lackluster. So.
The one with the greatsword is gonna go for you currently as well.
Alright.
Garv. So its first attack is a
minus a d4.
miss. Second attack
That's good.
is a
Bang.
I prefer Scarecrow.
17 and hits with
Bang.
the second one.
4 is dead. Get out.
That's going to be
If only I could.
minimum damage.
Sweet.
That's going to be 5 points of slashing damage reduced to 3.
Sweet.
Um,
Time to crack out those elf potions.
no.
Hello.
Crack open your elf potions, boys.
Um,
Find some mushrooms.
I'll
Drop weeds.
One of you drinks out of a shoe.
I was gonna Eldritch Blast, but it's a 10.
So you can like fire it off, it kind of like hits some of the foliage around
and
and
just
scattering
stressing.
it
Just
Okay. There's realistically nothing else I want to do.
Who's wearing shoes in this party? It must just be me and them.
just you.
And
man.
Mastella.
It's okay. I always imagine halflings as barefoot.
Oh yeah, because
I always forget that I'm barefoot. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I wear my legs bare.
I am currently 4 barefoot.
Yeah.
Hey!
You're all welcome.
Back to the top is Darv.
Alright, D4s and all the boys. Big Sword Boy gets a 2.
Cool.
Sovereign gets a 4. And Crossbow McGee gets a 4 as well. And then, yes, Anchor Attack on Sovereign again. So that goes a bit better. That's nice. That's 25.
Yes, that is.
Oh, sweet nasty niblets.
Sweet nasty niblets.
Only 14
Damaranos on the Sovereign.
Nice. So you just kind of like do this big cleave into it. You see as the anchor kind of like tears out some of the spore-like kind of fungus on it. You see as it kind of tears as well. It doesn't give way to like a humanoid body underneath. It seems to just be spore through and through, and it kind of you see as the sap begins to kind of like seep out of its root.
Oh, it's sapped.
Yeah.
Oh. I love when the enemy's sappy.
Is that you?
Yeah, did bonus, did my main. Yeah, I'm all good.
Cool. Cyphus.
Right, who were you just attacking? Was it
Sovereign.
Yeah. Okay. I am, as my big old bear form, going to try and grapple Crossbow McGee just down to the ground.
Go for it. So athletics check, and you can make athletics or acrobatics.
I'll do whichever one is strength. That is 23.
That is 5. So yeah,
Minus a D4.
not on ability checks. So yeah, you easily just grab him and like pin him, basically grapple him down. So basically with your, if you got multi-attack?
I have multi-attack.
So you can use your other attack to attack, or you can try and turn it into a restrain.
Restrain means it
What?
can't take actions. It's like
so the
pinned.
difference is grapple creature speed is 0, cannot move, cannot benefit from any bonuses to its speed. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated. The condition also ends if an effect removes the grapple creature from the reach of the grappler or grappling effect. So restrained would then give everyone advantage on attacks against it.
Let's restrain this bitch.
That's just another check.
That's 10 this
That's
time.
5 again. Yes! So yeah, you kind of like bear down on top of this thing, like, like pinning it to the ground, and it is just stuck and can barely move.
We'll have advantage on it now.
No.
And it has this.
Just for added discomfort, I lick it.
Tastes
It's
strange.
infected with some horrible disease now.
Your eyes just start.
Dude! You start clicking.
Next is the Sovereign. Seeing what's going on, he is going to, first of all, can you make a con save for me? He's going to try and get you on side.
Nah, fuck you, mate. That's going to be a 19.
Yes, you pass. He uses the same
18,
kind of,
sorry, but...
hallucination spores on you, but to no avail. He's then going to use the remainder of his turn to, you see as he kind of like just sinks into the ground, and he's going to use Meldon to plants, which means he can move into plant life without provoking attacks opportunity. You see as he kind of disappears.
That's
for the time
cute.
being.
Fight me like a plant!
Floro.
Cool. I'm gonna do a sick move where I kind of land for a second, bounce off the floor, again off the ceiling, and then just like woof, down into the restrained
Bounce off
void.
the floor, then off the ceiling.
Yeah,
Please
so
be
like,
careful of me.
Just do a little jump.
just sort of like
No,
boom, boom, boof.
It's
Like
gonna
a
be
nice,
really,
like a
really fun.
like a
It's
pin-
3-point turn. Advantage to his restraint.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I did not fuck it up. That is a 24 to hit. It's with my sword, so it's a D8. With my sword. Oh, it's lovely. That's 17 plus 3. That's 20 dams.
Nice.
Nice. He is not looking great now.
Then with my bonus action, I will once again plant a torch in him to try and burn him.
Go for it. So
Hey,
advantage as well.
he's all-
Dex.
Nat 20 again.
20. This torch has served me well.
So 4 plus a d4.
The torch of fire.
4.
Eight
Max 8
damage.
damage.
He is not looking great, and he is currently on fire, technically.
Yeah.
The fire's not spreading hugely, so you've probably got a turn or two before it'll affect you restraining him.
Cool.
Um,
I imagine it will be dead before then.
I'm
Stella
making this
is
torch into a magic.
going to run up to it on the floor and try to stab it with its sword and kill steal.
That little fucker.
He hits.
Is he a Templar?
So he's going to do a d10 of damage. Plus his strength. So that's only going to be 4 damage.
Oh, nice. Kind of funny. If they'd done it, I was going to text Tom. Just, you bastard, you stole my kill. Just no context.
Up next is River.
Cool, I'm still in front of the guy, so
Yeah.
stab the rapier, stab with the dagger, please.
Cool. Which one were you in front of? The great sword or the crossbow guy?
Whichever one's not currently grappled, I believe.
It was the crossbow.
It was the
one.
crossbow.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he's currently on the floor. You can get to any of them.
You're welcome. Just stab it.
I'll just stab that one.
Cool. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So they're both at advantage, are they?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll do the rapier first. Oh,
Wow,
damn.
dude.
Jesus.
Ooh, that's gone well. Cool, that one doesn't hit. No, it definitely didn't hit.
Oh, I thought you were being real. Like,
Oh, bloody
Oh
hell.
my God.
Never mind, let's
That
just...
was the worst 4 rolls.
Sorry, did not a lot happen really.
So
So
you're trying to like go in for the piercing.
I'm like a cat with a string.
But everyone is just suddenly like flocked to it, so you're not quite sure how to like
Hey,
get
yeah.
into the mix.
I find that offensive.
Sorry.
I find my rolls offensive.
Everyone's just kind of swooped in.
Everyone's trying to get a beacon.
Yeah.
We're all just winging it and oh damn it.
It's like we're all birds of a feather.
Flower is a bird.
Oh, that was fantastic, man.
Up next are the knights. So the greatsword one is going to shift on over to you.
No.
Use their form to try and get you off his friend by attacking you twice.
AC
Sure, they're
11.
friendship.
You best believe.
Plants love each other. Plants like
Minus D4.
Yeah.
fucking.
So
They fuck.
only plus 2 is 11.
Oh.
Hits with the first greatsword hit, and the second one is also a hit as well with a 15.
Oh.
Did you minus the d4s from
I
that?
did. That would be -1. So
Sorry, I tried.
I should have D4 every time we roll something, just in case.
So that's going to be a total of 16
Gonna get
points of damage.
old by the end of the
16 of
campaign.
them?
Yes.
That's
As it runs in,
River's
its
dead.
hands kind of fused, just kind of like slashes along the side of the bear and then brings it up and just like cuts its power. The other one is, because it's dumb, it's going to take its attacks at disadvantage and try to shoot you twice with a heavy crossbow. Oh, yes, it can. It doesn't need through the plant. This misses. This
Hashtag
again.
plants can't read.
Crit fails. So yeah, it like tries to like shoot, but kind of like just goes off into the ceiling, and then the second one kind of like as you're pinned its hand to its chest, it just fires off back.
Shoots into its own face.
Nem, you're up.
Hello. I would like to try something, and it is.
You didn't get it.
Oh. Can I try poison spray, which is a con save, please?
You can indeed. So you need to get within 5 feet of it.
I would.
Cool.
You're so correct.
So
That's what I'll do.
As you run up and kind of like spray this poison into its face, no effect. They are immune to poison.
I thought the weed killer thing. I
Good-
just wanted
good
to
try.
give it a go. Yeah. All right.
I like it as an idea.
That's it.
That's an idea.
There's no one out there immune to poison as well. So
Okay.
still learn something.
I literally just swung the
We
sword
learned
twice and
something.
did
I thought
nothing,
like weed killer, maybe, not so much. Okay, fine.
Back to the top, Gav.
All
Got
right.
fire lying around. I imagine they don't.
Are they?
That's
It's
my
2 of them.
Oh, sorry. At the beginning of the night's go, he also took fire damage as well.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He's just about hanging on.
Okay. Electricity
Can
on
I
him.
use my inspiration to change that roll?
Electricity on him. It won't matter. 4 damage on him.
Dead.
There we go.
Hey.
On the other one,
Kill stealing bitch.
2 damage on him.
Cool.
And then I will roll to hit the still standing, the greatsword one, I suppose. It's not fabulous. It is 13 to
That
hit.
misses, unfortunately. So as you kind of like let out this electrical charge, kind of like swing around, you're about a foot too far away to nothing there. Cyphus, you've just seen this boy kind of like burn and get shot to death underneath your paws.
Sovereign's gone, yeah?
He
Yes.
fucking melted.
He's in the ground somewhere.
Appears to have disappeared.
Oh,
And
well.
not in the good way.
Great sword. Prepare to get dicked on. I'm going to do exactly what I just did.
Go for it. Oh, you're trying to. Okay.
It's not gone well. That's 8.
Yeah, passes. So yeah, as you go up, he with his hands fused, he just quite easily like bats you away with his great sword.
I think
You've still got your
hands.
You've got another attack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got multi-attack. Can I try again?
Yeah.
12.
21 for him.
Fuck you!
Wow.
Balls.
So as you're trying to like grab onto him and pin him down, you see this one's possibly a bit stronger, which is why he's wielding a heavy weapon. Just begins like batting you kind of away.
I will frown at him in bear.
Up next, Sovereign,
Oh dang.
who is going to do that.
Never come back.
Yeah, he's running. He's fucking gone.
Why would I come back?
Indeed,
That's
why
the
would
big
he?
bear.
Can we still hear his thoughts?
If it was
You
him,
could
yeah.
never hear his thoughts.
Yeah, I was gonna say. If it's him,
Unless he
yeah.
was directly talking to you. Garv, River, and Cyathus. You all notice as kind of like in the mushroom room, you see as some of the mushrooms just begin to part, kind of as if like someone's moving away out of the room.
Did we see which
Love that
direction?
passive perception.
Because it's a room that's just so thick with mushrooms, you don't see what direction. You just know something's moving through that room.
Oh well.
Have you informed the group?
Yeah, I would
She
have
dogs it.
thought. I would have thought. Oh, dang! Look at that.
Yeah, you'd hear the thought as soon as it happens.
River.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, River is so like posh and haughty, but in her head she's southern.
Poirot.
Seems to be a disturbance in the mushroom field.
How far is it to the mushroom field from where I am?
It is to enter the room. It's like 30 feet, and then the room is about another 30 feet across by 40 feet.
Okay, for now I'll just fly on in. Can I see it?
Make a perception check for me, please. This thing's going to have pretty much full cover.
That's pretty fucking good with 21.
Okay, you don't see it, but you do see the direction it's headed in. As the mushrooms begin to part, you can see that it's going through this one here that you originally came to.
Okay,
So it's the corridor.
I think that. How far away from me is it?
That would currently be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. About 30 to 40 feet.
Okay, bonus action dash.
Cool.
Head on over to where I think it is, and if I can find it, stab it.
Okay, so you get to like the mouth of the opening, and you like just about like see like the tail end of it, like already like in the cubby, kind of like going around.
I'll be able to reach it, what with the fact that I'm now up to 150 feet of movement.
How much have you used so far? Because it was 30 to get there, another 35 to
So
get across,
60.
that's 65.
So I've got 150 total.
Damn.
So you got 85 left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can get it next to it.
Yeah, cool. Stabs. Just me and him within 5 feet of each other, so I get sneak attacks. It doesn't matter. Inspiration being used right here, right now.
Right now.
Yeah, that's a lot better. That's a 21.
That's going to hit.
Cool.
Fuck him up.
Fuck what? Not that fucked. 8 dams.
Cool.
8 of your finest damage.
It's
Not
mediocre.
that
Now
good.
It's now bloody cool. It's just me and him.
Basic
Please come help. Come help. Oh, fuck.
Oh God.
Mastella is going to
Gav, I'm within
try and
200
slash
feet.
the greatsword boy. And
Still contractually obliged.
it's going to be 6 points of
That was excellent.
What happened?
Because I was like, yeah, I'm within 200 feet. You're contractually obliged now. Just go. I'm coming.
River.
Oh, okay. There's still one
read the
around,
chat,
so I'm
by
going
the
to
way,
do the
really.
double
Oh, the
weapon
double
attack on
attack.
it
Go for it.
as per.
Thanks,
If it
by
goes
the way,
better than last
Ferrets.
time.
You're sweet.
Yeah, that's more like it. 18 for the rapier.
That's
Cool. Oh, so I'll roll damage in turn. Make it easier for you.
I'll do it. I'll do it. 15
That's
pounds.
9 for
I
that
know a guy.
one.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Yeah, and then...
Well,
There's
that's
no, I
good.
don't hit with a dagger.
okay. So you kind of like plunge the rapier kind of like
Probably
deep
could.
into it and pull it out. You see as the spores kind of burst out from his stomach. Still standing, but he's not looking great.
Cool, good.
Up next is the knight. It's mindless, so it's just going to retaliate against you.
That's fine. That's what I'm here for.
So
Take some hits.
first
Taking
attack,
them here.
17 minus d4, so regardless of what it's minus it misses.
I know.
Cool.
The second one
It's
is
okay.
a miss as well. So it tries to like swing for you twice, but you just duck out of the way of its direction both times. Nem, you're up.
Hello. I'm gonna try and get. Are you on the sovereign boy? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 90 feet away on
Yeah,
it.
you're currently about 90 feet away.
All right then.
What's your range of Eldritch?
Yeah, my flame won't go there. Can I move closer to it? Yeah, I know, I'm going to do that. Can I go to 30 feet as my movement
Yes, you
towards it?
Yeah.
And then cast Eldritch Blast, hopefully.
He's going to have basically 3/4 cover from this because he's in the small cubby.
He's in the small cubby, eh?
Yeah, he's in the 2 foot wide crawl spaces.
That's regrettable. That's all I got.
I thought it was kind of big. I thought it was
It's
like...
8 foot high.
It's a
You can mould with
13
like the
for
walls.
Eldritch
Oh, that's
Blast.
okay.
Yeah, you can-
Plants in it.
Sorry?
It's a 13 for Eldritch.
That's with the cover unfortunately misses. So as you kind of like fire it off, it kind of hits into the wall and like rocks kind of like scatter a couple of inches from you, Fuara, and the sovereign. And yeah, you do see as he's moving, he's kind of like as it would like brush up against the walls where the plants are, it just seems to pass through.
Oh, cool.
I'm not doing well in this fight.
I'm not doing
Back
great.
to top is Garv.
Right. Blast this boy who I'm currently near. He takes 3 damage on those. And then I will spend my action to dash towards the whatever the fuck he.
Yeah, an attack opportunity from the Greatsword boy. Which is with the that's gonna hit, even with minus D4.
Dang.
So that's gonna be 12 points of damage reduced to 6. And you can get about 60 feet through the room, so you can just about hear and see maybe glimpses of what's happening with Pharaoh and the Sovereign.
I'm coming!
Silence. Fucking gunpowder reference.
The whole grapple thing is just not working out for me. I'm just going to try and attack this boy.
Go for it.
So this is going to be my bite. That's 24 to hit.
That hits.
Boy.
Yeah, boy. That's a whole tasty 9 damage of piercing style.
Yep.
And then the claws. That doesn't hit.
So as you kind of like sink your teeth into it, try to like rake across with the claws, you see it manages to keep the claws kind of at bay, kind of like batting them away with the greatsword, but you sink your jaws right into his shoulder. It really is not looking good at this point. Up next, the Sovereign. He is going to come on then. So first of all,
Have a fucking go.
Fight like a plant!
he turns around and little spores in your face.
Oh, yeah.
Can you make a con save as he tries to use his pacifying spores?
Yeah, why not? It's 4.
So you are just like, as they kind of like blow into your face, you kind of like, all your muscles just kind of like seize up and kind of go through this undulating process of seizing up and then relaxing, and you are currently stunned for the next minute.
Oh, damn.
A whole minute?
But you can make a save at the end of each of those.
Sweet.
And he's then going to use meld into plants and go into the ground.
Go back!
Hate it when he does
Me
that.
too.
Up next is you, so you can immediately make the save.
This con save. That's 11.
11 just fails.
Yeah.
12. So you're just there kind of like dazed. Mastella is going to run up and attack the Greatsword boy. Is going to hit. And is going to kill exactly the 6. So just like cuts through his kneecaps. And he falls down dead, kind of exploding out of spores.
He's got
As we,
kneecaps?
as we all know, mushrooms' brains are kept in the kneecaps.
You guys are currently out of combat.
Mushroom
Times.
Can I?
Alright.
Hey, can I try and break the thing? It's 13.
That would do it. So yeah, the next round you kind of like come to your senses. A round has passed. Sovereign has got another go from that.
I'm going to be dashing over. Can I smell the difference between?
Make a perception check. I believe
Advantage?
Bears have advantage on this, I believe.
It's not great. 9.
Jesus.
You can. It's hard to. You kind of like you can't really distinguish between what's just spores that are generally hanging about in the air and what's the Sovereign. You can't really tell the difference between the two.
Can I try and track him down with my proficiency in survival?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and make a survival check. It'll be a bit harder as he can obviously travel through plants.
15.
15. You can see like foot. Are you just like trying to follow as best you can, or are you just trying to keep it local to this?
I want to follow him wherever he goes.
Yeah, so you it kind of breaks when you get further down the corridor. You know he definitely went back into the kind of main long 100-foot long corridor.
Okay.
After that, you're unsure just because he can simply walk through plants.
Does Hex only last for 1 turn?
No.
it's
I don't think so.
until you break concentration on it. But
It is
you can
concentration, I
see.
know that much. Hex
What we
lasts for up to an hour.
No, alright, so it's still on him then, I guess.
Can you sense where he is? Or?
I'll
don't
check
know.
first. I
Thinking.
know you can with like as well.
But
You
got
did
Bane.
Hunter's Mark.
No, you've got Bane.
No,
on
I
it.
didn't. I got Bane on it.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
but is it a fiend?
No.
No, it wouldn't be a fiend.
It's
I don't know
a
what's
plant.
happening. Yeah, no, I was trying to think if it would be any of those things I can find.
Yeah,
It's
you
not.
you can like sense where he is, but it is up should you encounter him in the next hour.
Okay, I will fly top speed back to sort of like the exit, seeing if I can spot the hallway. Towards like the well.
yeah, every 6 seconds I'm going to be trying to pick up the sort of smell of something different again.
You can quite easily get back to the exit as the way over the balcony.
Okay.
So you get down there. There's the only thing that's there is a little stubby boy kind of with the ball kind of attached to him.
Okay.
You see he's like fallen over onto one side.
He's trying to escape!
Another rope. Can't see him that way.
Search all the rooms.
I'm going to run and just try and jump over this fucking pit trap.
Go make an athletics check.
Oh, yeah, pretty good. 21.
Easy, yeah. You and on the other side.
Sweet.
And you can, give me one more perception check.
Nat 20.
Hey!
You can smell, kind of like paying more attention to the smell of the hallucinogenic kind of spores that he used on you, being that they were all up in your grill.
They were.
You can smell a distinct smell coming from the room off to the right that no one looked in. He probably went that way.
Are we still sharing thoughts?
Yes, you are.
Cool, I fly as fast
Went
as
that
possible
way.
in that direction.
Yeah,
I-
I try and jump back over the spit trap. 24.
Yeah.
20 bitch, whatever.
20 bitch.
Cool. So are you all just kind of going down and charging it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So as you go down, you go into quite a long chamber that's about it's about 40 feet long. No, sorry, it's about 60 feet long and about 40 feet wide. You can see kind of again plants kind of grown everywhere across here, apart from on 2 locations on the floor. As you see steel grates covering 2 sections in the floor. From one of them, you can just hear a faint as someone seems to be coughing down there. However, what your eyes are drawn to.
I thought you just failed to do the.
Yeah, I thought that you fucked up there.
thing.
What your
Insight on Dan.
Oh, yeah.
7.
you believe me.
Uh,
What you see
Damn it, I do.
in the centre of the room seems to be much like the Spore Knights and the Spore Guard, but bigger, quite a lot bigger. Seems to be a humanoid figure that's about 8 feet tall or so, kind of hulking with muscles with various kind of plant life, kind of like like coming over its hunched back. You see kind of like the face, or where a face would be, is just an entanglement of vines and thorns kind of sticking out from it. What weapon does it have? It has a shield and spear. So you see this kind of like one kind of shield made of like this kind of like a
bark.
mushroom kind of texture with bark on one side as well. And you see again this kind of like much like the others, this long jagged kind of thorn-like spear coming from it, and it just kind of sees you and begins bounding towards you. As from the back wall, you see step out, the sovereign kind of step out 60 feet away, kind of ready for it. Shouldn't have rubbed out the initiative order really, because I didn't get back into it that quick. So everyone on initiative.
Yay.
How long
Fuck off, man.
does rage last for?
You have to.
Oh,
6
got
got to.
unless you are
yeah, 6
damaged or
unless you
deal
take
damage.
damage.
Fuck. I'm outrageous.
Luckily for you, I rolled fucking atrocious.
So
Oh, we
did
re-roll the
we.
initiative, sorry.
Yeah.
I zoned the,
It's due.
the
Same as you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take that.
Faro.
Quick fail.
What's your dex mark?
Oh my god, me too! Should
Yeah,
we
plus
just
3.
all do this together?
+3, and then what's yours?
+1.
+1.
Any other crit
Cool,
fails?
you're both going before this.
Yes!
What a good noise.
Thank you.
That was excellent.
I'm good at noises.
6.
6 for Gav,
20. Not now.
20 for River and Cythus.
20 nat.
Cool, so you're first. So
Cythus got there first.
up first is Cythus. You see this thing kind of bounding towards you about 40
I'm
feet.
not happy about that.
About 40 feet away, and the Sovereign about 60 feet away, 20 feet behind this thing.
Allow that.
Oh dear.
Is there a poison? Yeah, sure.
Is it in that pile?
You don't roll my dice.
It is.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've got one plan and one plan only. I'm going to turn back into me.
Yep.
Which I believe is a bon action.
It is indeed.
Bonding
Excellent.
action.
Bon
Good
action.
old bon action. Or
He's my
good
favourite
action,
superhero.
as Mastella would say. That was an excellent French joke.
Well done.
Fuck you all.
Good job.
Oh, I have 3 rages at level 3, not 2.
Hey!
And I'm going to hope that this works, basically. I just hold up my hand and try and entangle the thing that's running at me, and it's really tall.
Cool, so it's a strength
Strength
save.
save, it's the 14.
It fails.
Okay.
Whoa!
Whoa! It's restrained.
You kind of like starts
What clickbait?
You see as this enraged kind of like plant like being runs forward and just starts slowing down and trying to like wade through these kind of vines that just go up and go
Just
like,
stop. Just don't do Welsh accents
It doesn't need
anymore.
stop. It's now about 40 feet away, just restrained from you.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, that was, I'm just going to sit down.
Cool, is that you?
Yeah, it's me
Yep.
down.
River.
As my main action, I would like to cast my Abjure enemy on the Sovereign.
Cool.
Which basically means he makes a Wiz save.
How long is Bane concentration for?
It was a minute, so I'm presuming it's finished, right? Yeah.
Wiz save, that is going to be a 18.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, okay, fine, sure. Oh well, it didn't cost me a whole lot. In that case, as my bonus action, I would like to cast Hunter's Mark on the big boy.
You can do your Hunter's Mark takes hold.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Cool.
No, he's not.
Garv. Oh wait, no, sorry, not Garv. There's 2 G's in this list. It's Garda. So you see, as from the wall to the right, you see this again. The walls in here kind of have humanoids, kind of like trapped in them in the vines. You see as one of them kind of breaks free and seems to be a similar build to the other one that has a kind of like a great sword as its hands are kind of bound. Going to run on up to all of you kind of in the entranceway, and just for argument's sake, it's going to go for Garv. Funny enough, as a roll of 2, so it's going to make his 2 great sword attacks. Which is a crit fail and a miss. So it runs up, you see it coming, and it just swings. You just parry both times with the anchor, kind of all of the day's work for you, really. Up next is Mustela, who is going to run up and attack that boy while we're on advantage. He hits. He's going to deal 5 damage to him. Ooh. Well done, Mustela. Yeah,
Well done,
good job,
Mustela.
Up next is now it's Garv.
Right, by the crackling beard of Fulmar, I'm pissed off now, and I enter rage. And
It'd be wild if you didn't have any more rages. I'm pissed off now, but I'm not raging anymore.
and
Just come to terms with it.
yeah, I'll make my
I
attack
guess I'll have
against
to deal with my problems.
this big boy. That's going to be
Big boy is at
22.
advantage, just in case you want to go for a crit.
Oh, not the Sovereign. The guy that just ran up to us.
I
I should say.
The
guard.
The guard.
There's 3, the other guy with the great
The one that just ran up to us.
the big one.
Oh, wait.
There's big.
Who's on us right now?
A guard just broke free of the wall
Yeah.
with a great sword.
Yeah.
In the center of the room, 40 feet away, is the large gladiator,
Not him.
who's restrained, and then 20 feet behind the gladiator is the sovereign.
Yeah, the guard. The one that's on us.
Cool.
Yeah, that's 22 to hit.
That hits.
Sweet. And that's going to be 5, 7, 11 dams.
If you just do this one big cleave across his midsection. Up next is the gladiator, who's going to try and use a strength check to break free. What was your DC again?
14.
14. Fails again. No.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's good. I can tell you that much.
Yes, I figured it would be.
He's a
Up
fussy
next
boy.
is Foiro and Nem.
Cool.
Hi.
After you.
Oh, thanks so much. Completely forgotten how to play for a sec. So how far away is the
Sovereign. He's 60 feet away.
Is he now? Well, I'm gonna do what I did last time and like run closer towards him, 30 feet, and then I'm gonna do an Eldritch Blast Which is gonna be
running closer to do that.
because I want to use Produce Flame. That's a non-nat 20.
That hits.
And it's going to be
A D10
an Eldritch
of
Blast as a D10, which is a 6.
Cool. So he takes 6 points of Eldritch Blast damage.
Thanks, everyone.
He is not looking great, really. You blast a big chunk of mushrooms off him, you see the spores kind of permeate out from his body. Faro.
Right.
Oh, you do an extra d6 damage because your hex is something.
Yes, you fucking bitch.
Yay, fish!
Baby.
Nice.
Cool. I'm gonna sort of like take my pistol out, aim around the gladiator, and take a shot. Sovereign.
Cool.
That is a 23 to hit.
That hits.
Sweet. That wouldn't be sneak attack,
No.
would it? No. Okay. In about 7, 3, 10 damage anyway.
Nice.
Not bad.
Gonna fire off. You see you get another chunk, the opposite side of them just hit, just blows out of him.
Okay, and then use my movement. How far away is the gladiator?
Gladiator is 40 feet.
40 feet. Use 40 feet of my movement to walk up fly up to him, then take an offhand rapier, cutlass attack.
Go for its advantage because he's restrained.
Yeah! 22.
Yeah, hits, and you get sneak attack.
Yeah, we get a sneak attack.
You just
Just don't add the dex. Nice. 9 damage.
9 points of damage.
And then my last 35 feet of movement can move backwards.
Okay. Oh, and he does. I remember that time he doesn't get
Yeah.
attacking. There we go. So you just kind of like fire off, dart on up, cut him, and then just whoosh, move straight.
Yeah.
Up next is the Sovereign. You see as well the Sovereign kind of reacts as you hit the gladiator. It seems to feel the pain of its brethren. Almost. He is going to. Yeah, he wants to survive. He's going to melt into plants. Do you see as he kind of like steps out of the wall, gets hit, and then just.
Homer Simpson.
Yeah, he literally Homer Simpson.
Love it.
How high does our passive perception need to be to see where he's going?
He is out of sight at the minute. He is
Melted into a wall.
Essentially, what he's doing is traveling through plants, so he can't be seen when he's doing that.
Very high. Impossibly high.
Cypress, you're up.
I wonder which way he was going.
Oh, you'll see.
Oh, I'm sure I
Oh,
will.
We just need like petrol bomb this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Someone invent petrol.
Quick!
What about that new stuff we created?
If anyone had gunpowder,
Yeah,
if we had
that'd
that,
do
we
it.
could like.
Yeah, I'm gonna bonus action Shillelagh, and then run on up to the restrained bee. And,
He is only 40 feet. Oh, you moved in anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, I would have been maybe 20 feet away from him when he stopped, and so should be fine. That's fucking fortunate. That's 21 to hit.
That hits.
Thank fuck for that. That's less fortunate. That's 5 damage altogether. I'm going to look sorry.
He doesn't care about that.
Very sorry.
Oh, now we
How
can.
does a bear look? Oh no, you're not a bear anymore.
Oh,
Never mind.
no, I am me. Hello.
River.
I'm going to go up to the gladiators. I've got Hunter's Mark on it.
Cool, go for it.
So rapier first.
You got advantage. These are trained.
Don't.
Oh!
Fucking.
Oh! It's 1 point better. It's a 12.
So that misses.
I thought it might. Okay.
As you go through, it's still a hearty being. You hit nothing but like vegetation.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the dagger. as
Stop
well.
hitting the vegetables.
Same thing. That's a 19. I presume I fit with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that hits.
Cool. Great. And that will be a d4 plus a d6. It's a whole 6.
Nice.
A whole 6.
Nice. Up next is the guard, who's going to carry on attacking the guard. 2 greatsword attacks. That is going to be lowest an 18, so yeah, they both hit.
Oh no.
We're both on the gladiator, right?
Yes.
Nice.
So it's going to go for one of us.
Oh, I
if,
have
if
one.
it breaks out of the thing. I hope it doesn't go for me.
It's going to be 24 damage reduced to 12.
Ooh!
As it just kind of gets these 2 big hits, kind of swing its greatsword, kind of digging into like your arm.
Ow.
Up next is Mostella, who, seeing this, is going to attack the. What other? Yeah, I think that's where him, but like status effect spells. Quite possible. It's got chromatic. What's it?
It depends what.
Yep, no. He's going to cast a
Status.
2nd level chromatic orb with it. He's going to miss. The 2. So he kind of fires off this like fiery orb that then just hits into the wall. Up next is Garth.
Right. Bonus action. I'm gonna drink this one of these here healing potions.
That's
pretty
almost perfect.
So that's 9 points of health back to me. And then I'll make my attack against him. Oh, fuck. That's not going to hit with a 12.
That misses, unfortunately. So you kind of like swing out after gliding this potion. It's just he uses the time that you drink the potion to kind of like shift on out of the way. Up next is the gladiator. Enjoy. Being enraged, it is going to just try and attack at you, Cythus, at this. It's going to make 3 attacks.
Oh my lord. But it's restrained.
It is, so it's all at this. So first one is a 23.
I mean, yeah, that hits. That was a diss.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Second one's a 13 and misses.
That misses.
And then the shield bash is a 19.
It also hits.
So that's going to be the spear, which is going to be...
Do you have a wild shape left?
Yeah.
I suggest
Yeah, I
using
can
it.
use it.
If you're still standing.
Now's the time.
9 points of piercing damage from the spear.
Okay.
And the
Gross.
shield bash is going to be another 9 points of bludgeoning damage from the shield. And could you make a strength save against the shield bash?
No.
Oh, you fail then.
Wow.
5.
Do anyway.
Well, as the shield bash just hits you, it just like the sheer immensity of this thing just knocks you off your feet and you fall prone.
I don't want
Does it knock you back at all, or just down?
No, just down to the ground.
Oh.
Poirot and them.
Right. Cool. So first I'm going to take a stab at this big boy. Still restrained?
He is indeed. He didn't.
Oh, we're all there.
Cool. Oh, legendary 11.
Oh, I saw that legendary!
It happened, so that's a 16 to hit.
16. That would just hit. It's going to use its reaction to parry and add 3 to its AC. So even though it's restrained, it just like gets the shield up in the way and just whoosh, kind of deflects it.
That's a shame. Bonus action, I'm going to dash back out the corridor into the long one to see if I can see Sovereign.
Yes, you go out there, you kind of like take in the corridor. You don't see him step out yet, as his turn's not gone, but I'll bear that in mind for when his turn comes. Nem.
And I am going to try and... Oh no, wait, hang on. Yes, no, yes. I'm going to try and cast Produce Flame, which is not going to happen, so
wow.
never mind.
Advantage on... If you're targeting the restrained one, you have advantage.
Oh no, I was targeting the matey boy, like the main...
But he's gone.
He's gone.
He's
not
gone.
even
gone.
in the
He's
room.
gone,
He's gone.
yeah.
He's
Oh.
not in the room anymore.
Well then, yes. That's a 9.
So at least it wasn't another one.
Yes.
So you kind of fire off the flame, but you just kind of like reads against the side of it, kind of just singeing it, but not doing any real damage.
Alright.
Up next is the Sovereign. The Sovereign is going to...
I'm just getting ready.
How intelligent is he? A little bit. It's going to appear with you, Farah. He's going to appear from the ground, from you, and is going to throw spores in your face.
Pocket spores.
So you mind?
Could you make a con save for me, please?
Yeah. That's a fail.
You are stunned.
Oh.
Oh, dang.
He's then going to fist
No!
Oh, no.
No!
you, which is what's your AC? 14. He's going to hit this fist.
That's impressive.
Luckily, I don't think they do that much damage.
Depends how you do it.
Maybe.
Somewhere Fuaro, I know he's being hurt.
Is it the squawks of pain from down the corridor that you're hearing?
And also the fact that I can read your mind.
Also that, like, I'm being fisted.
6 bludgeoning damage and 6 poison damage.
Oh, Lord.
As it kind of just punches into you, you see this kind of strange, kind of like plant-like smile creep across its face.
Ugh.
As
No.
you're
I don't like
currently
that.
stunned, you guys all kind of hear the kind of thoughts of Fuaro as he takes these hits, and then the thoughts just go blank as his mind is stunned. Back to the top is Scythus.
Well, I have one good tactic and one good tactic only if I'm on the floor. Purple energy again, I'm being an octopus! Ah!
Yay!
So from the floor, you see as you just like don't even get up, you just turn these tentacles just come out from you.
There's no middle finger on an octopus, but I will
Oh,
swear.
entangle's not concentration, is it?
No, it's not.
Thank God.
It's just a thing. Yeah. I can maintain concentration
Blessed Fulmar.
on.
You can, you can. Oh, it's because you got hit and took damage.
Oh,
I was wondering why, but yeah, it's
Cool.
yeah, I forgot it's not.
Right.
concentration.
Just gonna make a tentacle attack against the big boy.
Cool.
It is at advantage because it's restrained. Yeah.
Indeed.
That is a 16 to hit.
That does hit, and he's already used his reaction, so we can.
He has indeed. So that is 2d6 plus 3, and it's grappled. That's 12 damage.
Grappled and restrained.
So basically, the way multiple grapples works is they can make one. Basically, if it tries to break free,
Yeah.
it will both need to beat the DC of your restraint from the spell, and you
Yeah.
will also roll against it as well. However, it will only need to roll once, and needs to get higher with one roll for both. That's how like a multi-grapple works. So if you have like 5 people grappling you, you could make one acrobatics check to try and break free from all of them.
So you just have to beat the highest one, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Essentially.
Okay, so
or you could like break free from some of them and not others.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Okay.
It just makes it kind of quicker rather than just
that's fair.
not rolling. Yeah. So yeah, you kind of like the tentacles kind of wrap around it, start kind of like crushing this thing.
Yep.
Is that you?
I don't think I have a bonus action unless I can.
You changed this bonus action.
Yeah, I changed the bonus action, so yeah, no, I've got nothing.
Okay, same again. In with the rapier first of all.
Nice. So you're kind of like all around this guy, kind of like just slashing and and squeezing.
Oh man, 13.
13, that misses.
I thought it might. Oh god damn it! I'm well on those. I haven't hit my rapier more than once today. And a 24 for the dagger.
Yeah, that's
great. Thank God for Hunter's Mark.
Thank God for the dagger, honestly.
No, the dagger's been an absolute
was that your
trooper.
health before you changed?
What? 6? Yeah. Yeah, I was not in a fucking good place.
Oh boy.
6.
6 points of damage.
I've also been forgetting to add my dex mod to dagger damage. Sorry. I'll remember from now on.
So you kind of like the rapier doesn't quite go through, and you just jam the dagger into the side. Up next is the guard, who is going to turn around and attack Mostella.
You don't add your dex to the dagger attack, sorry. I should have said that a moment ago. Because that's your
It's your offhand, and you don't have proficiency yet.
3.
I should have done those one at a time, really. And they both hit.
Oh, but I didn't do it
2
for
hits.
the rapier attack before, is what I mean. The first one.
I don't think it counts, because it's,
No, it doesn't, yeah.
You see as it turns, and in one sweep, just knocks Mostella back, his unconscious body tumbling about 5 feet away.
Oh shit!
Oh, fuck.
Someone go and heal him, I would, but I'm an octopus.
It's fine,
right now.
Tom's not here, he can't die.
Is that accurate?
Depends how much of an asshole Dan
Did
is.
we give him healing potions?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 2, but he hadn't taken damage up to that point, and it did more than 14 damage in
Oh
one.
my
Oh,
god.
dang. Okay.
Why are you such a
I guess
small
that's my
boy?
thing, then.
He's
a little man.
What are sorcerers hit dice?
D6.
D8.
Oh, D4.
D8, but he's got a 0 to con. So, up next is Mostella's go. He's going to make a death save. He passes.
His health can't be
He
14.
rolled as well, I think.
Oh, if he rolled, then it can
that
be.
explains
But
it.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, because it'd be... What? It
So
would
it'd
be
be
8 and then 6 and 6. So...
8, then 5 and 5. So
Oh, sorry,
8 and
yeah.
10, so it should be 18, really. That still did more than 18 damage, so either way,
fair.
Yeah.
it's going to do that.
Cool.
Future reference.
We'll ask Tom how he did his health when he
Yeah.
comes back.
I think I remember talking about him rolling it, but I might be wrong.
Up next is Garv. You see as this like spore guard just wrecks Mostella, now then turns to face you.
Hey, it's my job to throw him places. Oh yeah.
Should I roll for him to have a lingering injury while he's not here? I mean,
Yeah, do it, man.
Yes.
Alright, yeah, fine. If he asks, I'll say Jamie convinced me.
Yeah. Are you doing it the same way I'm doing it?
I am. He doesn't get one.
Okay. Right. Yeah. First of all, D4 of lightning on this boy. 4,
Nice.
and then use this one. Nat 20.
Oh, yes.
So that's going to be 12. That could have been better. 15. Add that. So 21 damage.
It's not looking great now. If you just kind of see this kind of like the rage of Fulmar kind of channels through, you do the lightning damage and the slashing damage in one attack as you bring the anchor back and just smash it. You guys all kind of, as you turn your heads, just see this blast of electricity just reeve up this guy and kind of like connect to the floor and ceiling for a split second.
Sweet.
Next to the gladiator. Yeah, he's gonna make that check. So an athletics check against DC 14 and your
16.
DC 16 and your octopus grapple check as well.
Oh, I'm confused. The octopus DC escape is 16.
Oh, okay. The octopus. Okay, I didn't realize the octopus just had a DC.
Yeah, the grapple creatures is a DC 16 to escape from the grapple.
Cool. So what's your spell DC for the
14.
cycle? 14. So it needs to be 16 and 14. Every single time it's trying to break free, it's got a 2.
Wow.
Good.
That's so weird. Yeah. He's still there. That's his
Yeah,
go.
fucking is.
Faro, and your go. You get to make a con save.
That's
16.
You're no longer stunned. You kind of come to. You see the sovereign still kind of there in front of you.
Hello.
Do you get a bonus action? Or is it?
It's
my
at the
turn.
end of your go.
That's fine.
Nem, you're up.
Hello.
Oh, man, you seem to be in a particular cycle.
Sorry, did you say that this sovereign has just reappeared?
In the corridor with Faro, you guys can't
Oh,
see.
okay,
But
so
you
I'm
have
way away.
you've heard the thoughts of Faro that it's out there.
It's out there, huh? It's out there. Well, whilst I'm in this room with this boy, I'm going to try and do a produce flame. Which is going to be an 11.
an 11 again.
Yeah, so
Legendary sixes!
as you fling the fire, it just
Roll one more, summon a devil.
unaffected.
I'm getting fucking no
It's
action
alright.
this time. Oh, it's so sad. And I was just like,
You'll get there. It's
I'm
fine.
Keep that
I haven't-
sentence
I haven't
in
hit with
mind.
my
I have a
rapier.
burn for off stream.
No, it's been
Two
quite
of you are just
distressing.
not hitting at all.
What did I say?
Up next to the
Keep that in no
sovereign,
action.
who is going to spore you.
Come on!
Hey!
That's a 21
You
to
pass.
not get spored.
He kind of blows the spores in your face and then punches through the spores.
Oh, cool.
At least you didn't fucking melt in the plants again.
Which misses. So
Cool.
he goes to punch, you just kind of like bring your head back and it just by a few inches.
That won't work again, mate.
Scythus, you're up.
I'm gonna keep Octopus in this gladiator because I mean I might as well. You guys seem to be doing other stuff. Yeah, that's 24 to
Yep,
hit.
that
That
hits.
one. So I need my d6s. Oh, they're over here. Okay, that's okay. So that's 6 plus 5. That's 11 damage to the gladiator.
Nice.
Well done.
Ready, bud.
You
I
see
don't
it's-
even know if I have a bonus action as an octopus.
don't think
Can
you
I-
do.
No, because that's a technical
bop
hit.
Yeah.
Can I peck it?
Sure.
Nice.
So roll an attack and add your dex or strength.
I am truly disappointed that I didn't get the first peck
Nat
attack.
20.
So
What the shit?
I'm basically going to treat it like a
It's an unarmed strike, surely, or is it D4?
yeah, it'd be an unarmed strike, which so yeah, it'd be 1 damage
2 damages!
plus the strength mod of the
So 2 plus whatever its strength mod is.
Didn't write down what an octopus's strength
I'll look it up.
Where's the player's handbook?
Boy,
Giant
is it-
octopus, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it giant? You'll go first.
Let's see.
I didn't think it would be important.
That's not.
it is plus 3,
Oh.
So,
There we go.
5 damage.
That's fine.
5 damage, 5 pecking damage.
Nice, it's now bloody.
Good.
Oh,
Oh.
Does this even have teeth?
shit. They have like a
It's
beak.
got a beak.
Beaks.
Yeah, they have little beaks.
It's
Yeah,
how it
it's weird,
bends.
yeah.
They
And if
can-
it can fit the beak into the side, into like a space, its body can fit through. That's like the biggest, like solid part of it.
They're cool.
Yeah.
I'm Googling it.
Up next is River.
How far away is Mastella?
Mastella is he'd be about
No.
40 feet away if you're up against the gladiator.
Break the stream.
So I'd have to dash to get there then, wouldn't I?
Yeah, and it's an action to feed someone.
Oh, no, I don't need to dash because I have feline agility that I can use once.
You do indeed.
Cool, in that case, I'm going to run up to him.
Cool.
And
The
yeah,
gladiator's going to
Mastella's
take an
down.
attack opportunity on you at this
Yeah,
with its spear,
I'm going
which is misses.
Cool, brilliant. So yeah, when I get to Mastella, I'm going to use my action to lay on hands him
Nice.
and give him. I mean, I've got 7 left, so I'll give him 7, I guess.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, he's up to half health.
Cool. And as my bonus action,
Yeah.
because I'm still within the 20-60 range, can I hold my dagger?
You
At the-
can
at the
indeed.
dude?
So yeah, you'd be so 40 away. So it'd be at disc because it's on the extended range, but it's restrained. So it's about so it just cancels. It's just right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I just thought it'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
To be honest, I haven't done it yet.
Right.
Nice.
23.
That hits.
Cool, great. It's a d4 plus a d6 of damage. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh!
Max damage 10.
Nice.
I'm now daggerless, but it's okay because I got.
As you just kind of like fling the dagger back, it just kind of sinks into its side.
I'm happy with that turn.
Up next is the guard, who is going to attack Garv.
Guard action.
Misses both.
Sweet.
Oh no, sorry. Oh no, it was that. Yeah. Up next is Mastella, who's now conscious. He's going to stand up and cast Chromatic Orb at the guard. Hits. So that's going to be. Where's my D10 gone?
Trying to kill this guy and come to you, I promise.
I know, don't worry.
What was that?
I think I'll be alright.
7.
How is this gladiator looking?
He just got bloodied like
Oh, did he?
last turn.
Oh, when I-
Guy is
Pecked
just
him
like
to
the
bloody
guard
bits.
is just about hanging on now.
Okay.
Next is Garv.
Sweet. Lightning that boy.
Cool.
4 damage.
Dead.
That was what I was hoping for. How far back into the corridor?
To get back into the car, it'd be 5 to 50. It'd be 15 feet.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, back into the corridor.
So you run on up, kind of like look into the corridor. You see to your right, and about 10 feet away is Faro, just like coming to from the spores, and you see the Sovereign there, kind of like swinging and missing.
Sweet nasty nips. I have enough movement to reach him, so I will run on up to the Sovereign.
Go for it.
Jeez.
6
I'm going to use my
nasty
point of
hits.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Legendary twos!
I thought it was legendary fell, then it looked like ones from here.
Oh,
I'm just like, no way.
Just your standard legendary 2s.
If your legendary failed, he would have been on hallucination and you would have gone for Poirot.
Oh God.
Whoa.
Yeah, just
As-
right on up to it.
As you go to swing, you see kind of like, here's you coming, and like, steps out of the way, you just crash into the opposite wall, like leaving like a slight dent essentially. Kind of rubble and plant kind of like toppling down. You didn't hit, but you are there in the fray. Up next is the gladiator, who again is going to try and break free.
Is he breaking free?
That may actually do it. 17.
Yeah, breaks free of everything.
So you see as he kind of like just tears free, and like you see these bounding kind of like muscles and plant kind of like just toppling from him. He's no longer restrained,
Please
but
calm down.
he doesn't get his rest of his
Can't
skill.
say it, so it doesn't help.
Poirot, you're up.
Cool.
I'm here now.
Cool. Thanks to wait. I got it. Shoot him in the face.
Cool. You'd be at this because you're within 5 feet of him, and it's a ranged attack within close
It's a
combat.
gun.
Does that not work with a pistol?
Guns don't have.
With the feet it does.
Ah.
Or like the Northwest one.
That's the same.
Never mind.
Yeah.
At this, it's still 15.
That hits.
That hits. Sweet.
And I'm within 5 feet.
And so I get my sneaks. That is 17 damage.
How'd you finish it?
Yes. Grab it.
I turn to Gav and just be like, don't worry, I had this. Boom, and he's dead. Like, don't even look.
Yeah,
Just like, that's fine.
As you just put the gun out, you kind of like almost like shoving the barrel into the side of its kind of like now kind of open head. You see as you pull the trigger, the head just completely explodes, and these like fairly beautiful, but as you know, quite troublesome spores just
Thank you very much for
bust
the
out.
comment.
Slow
And they just kind
motion.
of hang in the air almost as the body just kind of decomposes immediately, kind of into mulch. Into
Cool.
the
I
ground.
like that.
You notice there's all the plant life in the corridor, and you all notice there's all the plant life kind of in the room. Doesn't fall, but begins to sag a little bit.
Cool. Bonus action, a reload.
Cool, and you just.
You don't want saggy plants.
No.
Up next is Nem.
Hello. I'll go for a flame on the restricted guy, which
He's
is
just not restrained.
No,
anymore.
restricted.
not restrained anymore, for
Managed
fuck's
to
sake.
break free.
You got this.
Is that a 7 or a 1?
7.
Use a different dice.
Yeah.
Use the one on the left.
It's not going well.
Does 12 hit?
Yeah, does 12 hit?
It doesn't. So if you go like throw the fireball as you try to like try to kind of like set him on fire, just kind of again just you kind of stumble. Up next, oh no, it's not the sovereign. Silas.
Better not be.
It's the second sovereign.
No!
He pops out of the ground and blows in your face and tries to punch you.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I guess I'll just attack. 22 to hit.
That hits.
Excellent.
And
He's now grappled again. Pardon?
I said, yeah, he's now grappled.
Oh, I thought you said how you finish it. I was like, I've not even done damage yet. 7 plus 5. 12 damage! Woo!
Say the line.
Cool. River. You see, as a
bonus action, can I reach up with one of my tentacles and pull out River's dagger?
Yeah.
Sweet. Just making sure you get it back.
Oh god, that's not
Thank
because
you.
with a dagger. The deadliest,
Look out, honey, he's got a knife.
fine plus. Push with a dagger.
the deadliest catch.
Oh my god, I'm going to do that. In the future.
8 knives, like just. Yeah, this is pretty great.
Throw them up in the air. Beast-shaped octopus, catch them all.
Well, I'm what, 40 feet away from the guy?
Yes.
That's
you
my
are.
goal.
Okay, I don't have a whole load of range stuff left. So I'm going to dash to get there.
Cool. So you action dash, get up within range.
Okay, cool. And I guess, because that's all I can do, I'm going to claw at it.
Go for it.
Give it a kitty scratch.
Like a Mexican standoff, pointing 8 guns at people.
It's not
I mean, technically it's only
It's
7.
annoying,
I've only got
it's
So
seven.
you've got a slash, but it just kind of like steps back and it's kind of like moving back. Up next is Mistella, who's going to turn to it and is going to cast a second level chromatic orb.
Got this, Mistella.
Misses. Up next is Garv.
Alright, back to it, I guess, and I'll run back into the room.
So 30 feet gets you again to the bottom of the stairs where you are, which is 40 feet away from the.
Oh, piss.
Throw the anchor.
Throw Mistella.
Ah, God.
Can as a reaction, him grab me and throw me? Because I've moved with him, technically.
You need to use your action to dash. You wouldn't be able to throw, but you could grab him and move him. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you pull. You like drag Flora with you.
Nah, I'm just gonna run in and I'll just fucking yeet my anchor at it.
Go for it.
It's grappled,
Guessing-
so
It wouldn't be a bad. It's only restrained.
Yeah,
So
guessing I'm
that's-
a dis here.
Yeah.
What do I add to this?
Strength.
Strength 16 to hit.
16. It's going to use. It's got its reaction back, so it's going to parry it. You see, it sees it coming and just kind of like brings the spear or the shield up and just knocks the anchor to one
that
side.
would have been so.
Clap.
That would
It
have
would
been
have
really
been
cool.
amazing.
That would have been.
That was nearly that. The other rolls in that 20.
Yeah.
Um,
That was nearly
Amazing.
like Goblin McGob levels of ridiculous.
Yeah, sure.
Up next is the Gladiator. So it's going to do an attack on River, an attack on Scythus, and an attack on Nem. That's it.
Oh,
Actually, no,
would I have had the +2 for raging? Because I didn't add that.
It's only a +2 damage when raging.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Even though it adds 3 to its armor class, and you
Ah,
guys
yeah.
say,
It actually can't move, so it's going to do 2 attacks on Scythus, 1 attack on River.
oh,
Sorry, man.
So the 2 attacks on Scythus,
AC 11.
both hits. So in your octopus form, so it's going to be he deals extra damage on weapon attacks. So
Oh, that's a lot of dice.
oh no, I grabbed the wrong type of dice.
Good.
He's
The bigger dice.
He's only one-handing the spear, so you know.
Crafty bugger.
I was using
always-
D4s. I meant to use D10s.
21 points of piercing damage
Fine.
as it just jabs it down into you twice, and it's going to try and shield bash River with a miss. So it goes to shield bash you, but as you kind of like run in, you see it coming and just kind of skirt to one side and get to the side of it. Fwaro and Nem.
Hello.
After you.
Oh, thanks so much. Right, I've reorganised my dice. So I'm going to try
That
one more
amount.
time to do produce flame.
It's
better.
It's
It's
better.
a 15.
15, but AC 16.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna hit. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get a killing blow.
Fwaro.
Cool. I fly on in. I assume I can reach it with 75 feet. Cool. En route, I'll take a shot at it with my gun. That's a 16 to hit.
That hit.
That's a matched AC. For one Ferraro. Wow. That was shocking. 8 damage.
Cool.
And then when I reach it, a cutlass strike, which is a 15, so that's a miss.
Yeah, so the shot goes off as you get in. It kind of like the shot kind of like alerts it to your presence. It goes up and kind of like just raises the shield as you kind of get within.
How far did it take to reach it?
That would have been 40 feet.
40 feet, then I've still got 10 feet that I'll move away.
Cool. So you just carry on flying, just
Yeah.
out of its range. Scythus.
Hello. Can I attack it with a dagger?
Yeah, go on.
What do I add?
So it'll be either strength or dex.
I don't have the stats of
So
the
strength,
octopus.
it's got higher strength, which is +3.
Cool, I will do that then. 13.
Misses.
Excellent news.
You're not used to handling a dagger as an octopus. You go to do it, and it just kind of fumbles and just can't really get
It
anything.
looks cool though.
It does. It looks
Yeah.
really cool.
Still grappled at the moment.
Hey, I'm right on him, so I'm gonna rape you.
Go for it.
You can do it.
This is where we need giant marshmallows to stuff in your mouth.
For
Oh
God's
my
sake!
god, dude.
I'm into it.
It's a freaking rapier. Alright, and claws. Screw it. I want to hit it with something. I don't care.
I'm not mature enough for that
No,
weapon.
no,
Actually,
no, actually.
get through. Mostella is going to. He's going to cast fireball on it.
Eventually.
I haven't even noticed it's
Which-
gone. You're like, oh.
Hits with a 16.
Yay!
And he's going to do 7 damage. Cool. Garth.
It's
Right.
the most fun I'm having.
How far away is it from me now?
It's 40 feet away from you.
40 feet. Fab. I guess I'll move the 30 feet up and then it'll be within 10 feet, so I'll use the lightning.
Go for it.
That's 4 damage on it. And then 10 feet away, I'll get the dagger I picked up earlier and toss it at it.
Oh!
Nice.
Resale value!
So yeah, that's a standard dagger.
That's pretty tasty. Can I use... Do I use strength or dex here?
Either.
Oh, sweet, then I'll definitely use strength, which will be, 19 to hit.
That hits.
And that's 5 more damage.
Nice. It's now not looking great at all. If you just hurl this dagger with pure strength, kind of goes up to the hilt and a little bit further, kind of into its chest.
Oh, sorry, no, that's 9 more damage.
So
Another 4 on top of that.
Cool. Same thing. Almost up, pretty much up to the hilt. Up next is the gladiator.
Get your daggers out, boys.
It's going to, again, there's only 2 people within range, so it's going to do 2 on the thing that's grappling it and 1 on River.
What is the damage? It might hit me.
So crit fail on one and a hit on the other for Cyphus.
Cool.
So that's going to be 6 plus 4, 10 points of piercing damage. And the shield bash on River is a miss.
Yeah.
Poirot and Nem.
After you.
Okay.
You gotta. You're gonna have it with the fire thing again.
With the fire thing. It's a 23!
Yeah.
Which is gonna be. I'm gonna produce a flame right now, which is a d8. Plus the. Oh no!
You can bonus action move your hex.
I thought so.
As well,
Okay,
you
that's
can
cool.
say-
So that's a d6 and a d8,
Yeah.
I guess. It's gonna be.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah, that's nice. It's 11.
How'd you finish it?
I'm going to. Sorry, everyone. By the way, I'm going to. Just like send a big old like flame at it and set fire to the guy.
Nice. So as you kind of like toss this flame, you see as the shadows begin to kind of like wreathe up it from your hex. You see as the flame kind of hits shadows and kind of disappears into darkness, and you kind of worry for a moment. And then you see it start burning from the inside as flames begin to burn and wreathe up it. You can see the necrotic energy kind of draining the life from the plants of it. And you see as all the plants kind of like break from around it, and you see what's left is this humanoid form that seems to be long dead, flesh slawed off. You see bone, flesh, kind of long dry blood as it just drops to the ground, dead. You are out of combat.
I go grab my fancy dagger.
My dagger back.
And I assume you're your anchor.
Oh yes, and that.
Could I really quickly please do like a tribute to the Raven Queen?
You can indeed. So yeah, you get a weird urge to take some of the spores and kind of like do a little like a symbol on the wall with it to the Raven Queen. So you do that.
I go back to the sovereign and I collect head bits.
Yeah, so you get like
show
chunks.
us.
I'm gonna turn back into me and go and have a look at. You said there was some metal grates
so
or something
there's
where there was
yeah.
a coughing sound.
Yeah, there's one about 20 feet into the room, and then another one about 15 feet away from it. Kind of like there's 2. There's one that seems to have coughing and one that seems to be silent.
I'll go to the coughing one first.
So as you look down, you can see it's essentially like a 10-foot drop that's like a cylinder, like prison almost. And you can see there's a man there, kind of scantily dressed, kind of with various kind of he's scantily clad, with kind of a rough kind of like tattered robes on. Seems to be quite old, kind of like stubbly, kind of like a white beard, and just kind of is like leaning to one side, just.
Oh, hello.
And kind of looks up and just reaches up towards you. Help!
Healing word.
You can see, yeah, roll the healing.
I don't know.
D4.
Cool.
Plus your spellcasting mod.
Yeah.
7 points of healing
You
to
see as he kind
the
of-
old man.
You see as he kind of. You see like some phlegm just like cough down kind of the front of him. Get me out, please.
How do I get you out?
More
Points to the grate.
importantly, are you infected? Well, clearly you are, but like, is it contagious?
I don't know.
I mean, probably, but it's probably not something that we can
Allow me
fix.
some time. Please help.
What has his grate attached?
It seems to just be literally bolted in.
Can we hear his thoughts?
No, as he hasn't seemed to have breathed in any of that kind of spore.
I'm gonna walk over and check the other grate.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
Yeah, you walk over and check the grate. You can see this one's much more grown over with plant life. You can see what appears to be a couple of corpses down there with kind of like just various plant life kind of growing out of them. You can make a perception check for me actually, or investigation.
Perception. 16.
You can see there's still like a few items in coin purses on them down there as well, but nothing seems to be living.
Coin purse.
We need gold. Go.
Try and bust this hatch.
Make
Oh,
a
can I?
strength check.
Help? Oh, I'm not strong, don't worry.
You can still help if you like.
I'm
I'm gonna put the anchor in and try and like use a bit of leverage to pop that bitch.
I'll give you advantage.
Yeah, go for it. You know me.
Creative.
That's a pretty taste. Just a strength check.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, so you quite easily just pop it open and take some of the stonework with it as well.
Fuado, if you don't mind flying that butt
Go
down there.
then. Grab the stuff.
You find a total of 131 gold pieces amongst the 3 bodies.
Bloody hell.
You find a 3 kind of silken robes that they were wearing, which are covered in plants, but if you dust them off, they seem to still be quite nice, worth 50 gold each.
So that's another
Run them through the wash.
Another 150, and you find two of them wearing silver necklaces, which are also worth 50 gold. So
Quite the hoard.
in addition, you find
we've still got
one of them has a small, like a token in the shape of an acorn that has like a feather coming off of it. One of them seems to have a kind of a vial about this big, kind of typical kind of like bulbous vial that has this kind of grey, like almost like sedimentary kind of like rock-like substance in it that seems to be just about liquid. And one also seems to have a pair of like circular spectacles that just fit on the nose that have these strangely coloured kind of lenses.
Oh, cool. So I'll take all that up. I'll figure out how much gold everyone gets.
We need to sell all the
We
stuff.
need to sell stuff.
Sorry, what was the selling item?
With the selling stuff, if you're in a city, that's fine. That's going to mainly come into play when you've got a ship and are out getting like treasure from various places.
Litmus.
Yeah, if you're in a city, it's fine.
Litmus has come early.
63 gold each.
Everyone gets 63 gold each.
Oh my gosh, thank you!
Hell yeah.
Wow.
You get an extra 31 gold.
Sorry, what was it? What was the original total? 62.
63.
63.
63 and you get 31.
Thank you.
You ran down, you.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you see his the old gentleman is kind of like still reaching up, kind of like, please don't leave me here.
Well, I can't say I'm planning on it, friend, but I'm not very strong. Gav, any chance you
Oh,
could
Lord. Right now, try the bust
Yeah,
him.
so same thing you find, you just bust it on open, he kind of like reaches up and kind of starts trying to climb out, but you can see he's very weak, kind of, he was old to begin with and he's kind of, clearly not been fed down here.
I'm gonna, while we've got the time, I'm gonna flit on back to the room where we first met Sovereign.
Yes.
To see if there's anything of note in there.
Indeed, there are a few trinkets kind of dotted around there.
There
You
we
find
go.
an extra 176 gold, along with 4 golden bracelets, 2 golden lockets, and 2 silver bands, all worth 25 gold each.
How many?
So 8 times 25.
200.
So
No. Yeah, 200.
yeah, 200. You also find a familiar looking potion with this red kind of liquid in it. You find a potion of greater healing.
Hey, greater!
And you also find a wooden tube that seems to have a scroll inside. It's a scroll of Chaos Bolt.
Ooh.
Scroll of chaos.
As he kind of, this gentleman kind of like climbs out, he kind of like dusts up, kind of like spews up onto the ground and
Extra.
Thank you.
Extra 63 gold each.
Spews so nice.
I'm
Yeah.
going to.
An extra how much then?
63. Gav with 31 on top of that.
Could
So
I
16,
try and
94.
work out
Thank
if
you.
there's any way of like healing this man at all?
Yeah, sure, make a medicine check.
Well,
So after potion buying and all that, I've quite literally
Fuck's sake.
ended on the exact number I started on at the beginning of the
8.
session.
Dreamy.
But
Yeah.
it's an 8.
You're not too sure. You're not too sure what kind of
Like
spores
eight.
he's been subject to,
Yeah,
but
okay.
so you're not too sure how the healing process could begin.
Are we able to lift him out of the hole?
Yeah, he's
He
quite
fucking yeeted out of there himself.
I need to get back to.
And then he vomited.
I need to get back to the city up above.
What's your name?
The name. Crook.
That's not a...
Crook is my name.
I can't say that's a very trustful name, but
Spelled, I think, a K.
that's still not completely
What were the-
trusting, but it's not as bad.
It's
What were
cooler.
the unique items we found? So it was the scroll, the acorn pendant glasses, the potion that looked like stone, and what was the other one?
The potion of great healing.
Oh, great.
Cool. That's everything.
Can I try and work out if what he's got is contagious at all?
You should make another medicine or nature check.
Can I give it all?
Fuck off,
Can we do a
man!
medicine check as well? She'd be trying to heal him.
Probably not. Fine.
Nice.
No, it's not.
Whatever.
So like an 8 again.
For 11.
11. With 11, you think maybe some bed rest will probably do him quite well. He doesn't seem too far gone at the moment.
Cool.
Doesn't have anything growing out of him.
Let him sleep, he'll be fine.
Have we explored all the rooms at this stage?
You've not. He begins to kind of like
So-
almost like wander off almost, and as you guys will kind of like collect your thoughts and each other's thoughts in this subterranean dungeon, we'll leave it there at the end of the boss battle.
Okay.
It's now approaching 9 o'clock. So
go to bed.
you can search the rest of this place if you wish at the beginning of next session. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for the stream. We'll be back next Sunday with another session of Pirates of Kal'Himaar. Yeah, I know, we're getting to do fairly regularly,
More
which I'm
sessions.
so jazzed about. You guys have had your first taste of a dungeon delve in this campaign.
Amazing.
Plenty.
A little bit more to come as well. Thank you everyone for joining us. As always, down below is our social media and all that jazz. If you want to go ahead and know when we're streaming, if you like what we do here, go ahead and give us a follow, give us a like, and you'll be able to see when we're doing more of this kind of stuff.
Join our Discord or follow our
Yes.
Twitter. That's the best way to hear about when
Yes.
streams are going to happen. And also, thank you again to Gaunties, the winner of last week's Climax Comment competition.
Cheers.
I'll be letting you know who won this week next week.
Indeed. I believe we'll also have everyone next week. 'Cause-
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm off
Amazing.
work, so.
Great stuff. So, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you guys for playing. As always, we've been Nifty, you've been you. Stay beautiful, you beautiful people.
Love you, bye.